Country Insurance and Financial Services. Real people, real answers, real quick. Welsh Ryan Arena in Evanston on a cold winter night. 25th ranked Illinois comes to town to take on the Northwestern Wildcats. Hi, everybody. Wayne Larrabee along with John Morris. Great to have you with us tonight. Well, I tell you what, in that upset over Iowa, the guard play for Northwestern was stellar.
It was outstanding, and they'll need the same type of play here this evening to beat a very talented and deep Illinois team. Muhammad has shot a career-high 18. T.J. Parker did an outstanding job of running the point, played all 40 minutes.
You know, Sean, and a rare home loss for Illinois against Purdue. They were disappointed in their inside game. Well, tonight they'll try to rectify that with James Augustine.
They're going to go inside early and often, Wayne. James Augustine, very productive in the first half, as you see there. But for a guy shooting only 63%, he has to get more touches inside. Look for Illinois to pound the ball inside.
D. Brown, the one-man fast break, looks to get Illinois back into the open floor tonight on the road at Northwestern. Starting lineups, opening tip coming up. This ESPN Plus game is brought to you by Prairie Farms Ice Cream. Taste the homemade goodness of Prairie Farms. By College Illinois. Lock in future tuition for your child today. Visit collegeillinois.com. And by Option Herbicide. Grass control that puts you in control. Welcome back to Welsh Ryan Arena in Evanston. Illinois 10-3 overall, 1-1 in Big Ten play. Northwestern 6-7 overall, 1-1 in conference play. We take a look at the Prairie Farms starting lineup. Roger Powell, Illinois looks for more from him in this ball game. He fouled out, did not score or make a rebound in the loss to Purdue. The guards are very good. Williams and Brown. Brown especially quick. Northwestern, we talk of their guard play over the weekend. Vedran Bakusic has been outstanding this season for Northwestern and has made 15 consecutive free throws. But aside from that, he's been averaging about 19 points a game in the last 5.
Hit 22 points at Iowa City, Wayne. A couple of big threes as the Hawkeyes were making a run to get back into that ball game. Northwestern lives and dies by the three. They take about 22 from behind the arc per game. They also lead the conference in made threes per game, just under 8.
So the Wildcats, there is a look at Vedran Bakusic. Coming off a big win, as we mentioned, 77-68 Saturday at Iowa. First conference road win for Northwestern in 2 seasons. Bill Carmody's in his 4th season here at Northwestern. He has never beaten Illinois. And Bruce Weber in his first year at Illinois, a longtime Gene Cady Purdue assistant. Of course, he had a very successful, albeit short, run at Southern Illinois prior to coming to the Illini.
Took the Salukis to the Sweet 16 a couple seasons ago, Wayne.
The officials from the Big Ten, Gene Manji, Sid Rodeheffer, Zelton Steed, and they're going to re-jump it. Illinois in the solid blue traveling uniforms. Northwestern solid white with the purple trim, and we're underway. Nice to have you with us. It's a cold night here in Evanston on the lakefront. D. Brown sets it up to Darren Williams. Good look inside Roger Powell, and we've got a traveling violation. Turnover, Illinois.
Nice rotation defensively right there by Northwestern, Wayne, but you see what Illinois is trying to do. They go right inside to Powell. First possession.
Trying to get him on track. Parker forced on the play, and a foul on Roger Powell. So Roger Powell picks up his first personal foul. It's the first foul of the game.
It's the team's first.
And you take a look at what he did against Purdue on Saturday afternoon. Northwestern facing a team similar to the team they faced at Michigan. T.J. Parker way out on the floor on that 3 attempt, and it's out of bounds. In that, Illinois has the athleticism of the guard position to push the Northwestern offense out well beyond the arc.
And they also have the depth on the bench, Wayne, where they can push the tempo a little bit and look for Illinois to really try to get into what is a very thin Northwestern bench.
Augustine on the block. Darren Williams squares up and hits.
Nice job of coming under control, hitting that mid-range jump shot. There's a young man that's had to battle some adversity, had a broken jaw, has lost about 36 pounds as a result of that.
Parker on the drive, gets the step down the lane. T.J. Parker showing a little bit of quickness. Well, you're right about Darren Williams. I mean, All he wants now is a steak. He's had his jaw wired shut since about mid-December. Late past Augustine. Nice denial on the post defense by Vince Scott. Since the return for Darren Williams.
And Wayne, when you lose that much weight, stamina obviously becomes a factor. And I think toward the end of ball games, if you watch him run, he's laboring a little bit more than he did last year at this point in time. Obviously, conditioning and stamina, a big factor for that young man.
Bruce Weber mentioned before tonight's game, they have to watch his minutes a little bit. But the other day, he played big minutes. And at times, he's had to play big minutes since he came back because of foul difficulties and other problems. Luther Head is eligible to play here tonight for Illinois. He has not played the last 2 games. Time winding down on the shot clock. D. Brown. Off the corner, it won't count. Shot clock violation, Brian Randall. And Bruce Weber can't be happy at all with this start for Illinois.
And a nice job by Northwestern of keeping Illinois exclusively on that perimeter of that possession. They were not able to go inside at all.
Sean, Purdue was able to do that as well. Keep the Illini away from penetrating the basket. Hashad got a good look. Augustine the rebound. Gives it up to Williams. Nice feed to Randall. Inside Roger Powell.
Excellent job by Illinois running the secondary break. Good look up the floor. Outstanding entry feed leads to the easy hoop.
And again, Northwestern's guards will come out to get the 2 guards for, or I should say Illinois' guards will come out to meet the Northwestern guards well beyond the arc. Makusic inside. Tim Young trying to post up. A shot at the arc. Good look. Those are the shots they were hitting on Saturday afternoon in Iowa City. Darren Williams, nice move around a shot, picked up by Tim Young. Northwestern used a 1-3-1 zone to throttle Iowa the other day. We'll see what they try here tonight. Augustine. Darren Williams. For 3.
And Wayne, great job. Even though Augustine did not look to score, look what happens when you go inside. It draws the defense. The kick out, that allowed the open 3 for Williams, something they did not get on Saturday.
Well, again, you're right. Bruce Weber mentioned that they weren't even getting the ball inside to get it back outside to the open shooters. Scott left unattended. Parker chases down the rebound against Brown. Parker sliding to his left, makes the jumper over Augustine.
That's a tough shot going to his left with a shot blocker coming at him.
I'll say. Augustine among the league leaders in shot blocks. Powell, good catch inside. Sets up Augustine. Nice ball movement here in the early going, though, offensively for Illinois for the most part.
And they're really going inside. Nice 2-man game. Illinois last year, a lot of times, Wayne, you and I were talking about it, looked to do the high-low. Here, a little dribble penetration from Powell leads to the easy hoop for Augustine.
Parker was bumped on the play. Second foul of the game coming up. Either D. Brown or Roger Powell. They're calling Roger Powell on the foul. That's his second.
That'll get Nick Smith into the ball game.
Richard McBride comes in as well. McBride replacing Brian Randall. And Nick Smith, as you mentioned, in for Roger Powell. Makusic around Augustine and a foul. Augustine's first, already the 3rd on Illinois.
Illinois foul number 40, James Augustine. That's his first.
Roger Powell been frustrated of late with foul difficulties. Certainly Saturday he fouled out of that game, as we mentioned, against Purdue.
We talked about the shooting percentage that Augustine brought into this ball game. Powell right on his tail, also shooting about 63%.
Amid the euphoria, and that's the first miss in 16 free throws for Makusic. Amid the euphoria over the play of the guards for Northwestern at Iowa, Makusic solid 22-point, 4 of 6 shooting from the arc. Performance was a little bit lost in the headline.
And a couple of those threes came at big times when Iowa was starting to make a run coming back into the ballgame. Hit one from the wing with the shot clock winding down.
1-3-1 zone. D. Brown over it. Long carom to Darren Williams. Good passer. Nick Smith. Williams. Picked up now by Parker. Northwestern appears to be back to man-to-man. Smith inside. Nice look to the back door. Augustine converts it a foul.
Great job right there, Wayne, on the first interior feed. They threw it away from the defense, and even though the momentum, you'll take a look at it right there, away from the defense, allows Nick Smith the chance to catch, find Augustine, and the good finish with the left hand.
Vince Scott with his first personal foul.
Number 10, Evanston College, replacing Vince Scott. To the line for Illinois, James Augustine.
Augustine trying to convert on the three-point play. Second of the Big Ten in rebounding and field goal percentage, and he misses on the free throw. Illinois by 6.
Tolich into the ball game for Northwestern. Wayne had 5 assists in the game at Iowa City.
Kusic out front, takes Augustine with it. Now Augustine trying to pick up Parker on a switch. That's a mismatch. Kusic jumped at by Richard McBride. Parker, the runner, heel of the rim. Augustine the rebound. Lightning quick D. Brown on the run.
He left a vapor trail, Wayne.
Ivan Tolich on the foul, his first, second on the team. I get the feeling D. Brown hasn't been in the open floor nearly enough lately. He savored that moment. How about this one? Roger Powell, nice look at the baseline of the setup to Augustine. Illinois, the early lead. Welcome back to Welsh Ryan Arena on the campus of the University of Northwestern, or Northwestern University, if you will. Illinois on the lead, and they've been moving the ball well on the interior and getting it to this man.
Well, we talked about the importance of Illinois going inside here. Nice dribble penetration by Powell. Then once again, Augustine the recipient of a good interior feed from a fellow postman and Nick Smith. Look at the shooting right there for Illinois. They're going inside. Conversely for Northwestern, 0 of 4 from behind the arc. That's where they do their damage.
Inbounds to Nick Smith, picked up by Kusic. D. Brown, Darren Williams.
Northwestern, Wayne, showing a little bit of a zone defense, mixing things up much like they did in Iowa City on Saturday.
Williams over the zone and hits for 3. Darren Williams, second triple of the night. He's got 8 points already. Biggest lead of the night for Illinois. Northwestern, long possessions at Iowa, and Bill Carmody marveled, I guess, to his team, but he said, you know, long possessions, make the extra pass, shoot with less than 10 seconds to go on the shot clock, and look at, instead of shortening the game, we almost scored 80 points. They got better shots, in other words. Funny how that works. He said. 3 to go. Fall away by Tolich, comes up short. Nick Smith the rebound.
Nice defensive sequence by the Illini right there.
Brown open for 3. And he has struggled from there of late.
And Wayne, Illinois has done a fantastic job of running the secondary break. We've seen them go inside to Augustine on a couple possessions, but that extra pass allows a struggling three-point shooter to get his feet set.
Illinois 7 of 8 shooting from the floor, 3 of 4 from the arc. But Kusic off the mark there, and it's one and done. Brown is spinning into the front court. Jatim Young the rebound. Young missed a significant portion of the second half at Iowa due to a bloodied nose. Young on the drive, and it's a foul out on the floor. The field goal will not count.
Nice little crossover move in the open floor, able to turn the corner on Williams, who gave the contact. Watch this. We're talking about the secondary break, the extra pass. Now watch the swing. It allows D. Brown, Wayne, to get his feet set, something that he really struggled to do against Purdue. He never had his feet set and squared up to the rim, and as a result, a lot of his shots were off left or right.
Jatim Young inside for some offense. Much needed field goal for Northwestern. And quickly, Darren Williams right back for Illinois. Luther Head in the lineup for the first time tonight. 1-3-1 zone right now for Northwestern, or so it appears. Open in the corner, Richard McBride. T.J. Parker could not clear the rebound, and it belonged to Northwestern anyway. Last touch by McBride. Almost 7 minutes gone by in this first half. Very impressive start for Illinois.
Much more crisp with their offense than what we saw on Saturday. They've been able to execute, not necessarily getting a lot of breakaways, but that secondary break has been outstanding.
High-low right there. Dowancic to Vukusic. Well done.
And Dowancic coming off a nice performance, 14 points in Iowa City of his own.
Williams spinning into the lane.
Oh, nice look.
And the flush inside by Roger Powell.
Nice dribble penetration by Williams right there. Go inside. Powell with the easy one. If you shoot like that, no wonder you're shooting 63%.
Yes. So far, Illinois doing what they intended to do, get back inside. They were a perimeter-oriented team against Purdue the other day. Nice move on the runner. Davor Dowancic.
Right now, Wayne, if you're Northwestern, you desperately need a stop because Illinois is in a very good flow and rhythm with their half-court sets.
Luther Head for three. High rebound, back tap to Williams. And they reset the offense.
Nice job by Ingram. Couldn't corral it, but knocked it out toward a teammate. Oh.
Beautiful delivery from Williams into Roger Powell. He threw a laser.
There's example A through C as to why he's leading the conference in assists. Great court awareness.
Illinois enjoying a 10-point advantage. Nice give and go. Parker on the cut and one. Well done, Dowancic becoming the playmaker in this offense.
And when you run what Northwestern does, it's very, very important that your big man be able to pass the basketball. Nice job of moving without the ball by Parker, but it has to be a great bounce pass. And take a look where it leads him. It leads him right toward the basket. If that thing is a little behind him, the timing is off. No chance to complete it.
So Parker looking for the three-point play. Richard McBride picked up his first personal foul. Northwestern gets a three-point play, but it's been Illinois that's been impressive. Williams to Powell for the flush, and the Illini continue on a 7-point lead. Well, Illinois has cranked it up. We mentioned inside, but they've gotten some production on the arc as well.
Done a nice job of executing their half-court sets. But even though they haven't gone inside, look at where the ball goes to allow that three-point shot. Inside feed to Augustine. Once again, at the top against that zone. The inside pass, and then the extra pass from Head allows D. Brown to get set in that transition, get his feet square, and knock it down.
The balance stats flash, and there's a look at it. Now, Northwestern leads the Big Ten in three-point field goals made per game, almost 8 per game. Illinois is right behind at 6.5.
And Illinois leads the conference in assists. Of their 9 baskets, 8 have come via the assist. A great, great ratio.
Northwestern into the zone once again. Looks to be a 1-3-1. Almost 9 minutes gone by. First half.
2-3 set here.
Backdoor, McBride unable to handle on the pass from Nick Smith. And Smith is a very good passer for a big man.
A little bit behind him. If he leads him toward the rim, that's a finish.
Yep, and Nick knew it. You saw the expression on his face. Dowancic playing with much more confidence of late. There he is at the top. Look to the back door, and D. Brown had it well covered. Jatimi Young had it halfway down, wouldn't stay. Augustine clears the rebound. Fumbled by Luther Head. Last touch by T.J. Parker. It'll belong to Illinois.
In for Illinois, number 5, Darren Williams.
Darren Williams back on. Richard McBride leaves. Illinois by 7, almost halfway through this first half. Young leaves, and Mohammed Hashad comes back on for Northwestern. Good interior passing by the Illini here tonight. Nice delivery by Luther Head with the underhand.
Nice interior feed right there. But for Northwestern, Evan Seacat was tardy on the defensive rotation. He takes one more step, it's a steal.
Dowancic takes it himself. Seacat underneath.
Boy, Dowancic really doing a good job of distributing the basketball.
And that started Saturday in Iowa. D. Brown with the pull-up. Smith the tip. Here comes Mohammed Ashad. Wildcats do not have numbers. Parker right back to Ashad. Measures a triple. Bring it up.
He's coming off a career-high performance, 18 in Iowa City after struggling toward the latter part of the non-conference season.
And suddenly it's a 4-point ball game. Perimeter ball movement, Illinois. D. Brown, a perimeter shot. Heel to the rim, and here come the Wildcats. Seacamp the rebound.
And Wayne, compare that three-point attempt to the ones that we saw earlier where they probed the defense with the interior feed, make it collapse and kick it back out. That possession entirely on the outside for Illinois.
That's a lot like what they were doing Saturday against Purdue. Duwancic for three. One-point Illinois lead. Smith that nearly had it knocked away from behind. Darren Williams finds Luther Head. Sets up Augustine for the chip shot.
Oh, man.
How about that rebound by D. Brown and the putback? My goodness.
And Parker's down. It looks like he might have turned his ankle. But D. Brown, we've talked about his speed end to end. How about the way he explodes off the floor to snag that offensive rebound? Watch him coming in from the right side of your screen. The miss by Augustine. And boy, he just takes it away from Ashad and then has the presence of mind, Wayne, to finish with the off or left hand.
You're talking about D. Brown, who's barely 6 feet. Matter of fact, that might be a stretch.
Woo.
Only if he's on his tiptoes. Boy, does he have springs. Vukosic has been somewhat quiet. Duwancic trying to wheel into the lane, and what do we get?
That they got him with the hook, and
Yep,
I think that's a good call.
Davor Duwancic, his first personal foul.
The signal was the hook, and I think that was a good call, Wayne, because he's going into the lane, and with that off or left hand, he hooked the defender.
Coming up on 8 minutes to go in this first half. Illinois leading it by 2. Make it by 3. Darren Williams off the baseline. Jatim Young on the run. Vukosic for 3. Bring it up. It is raining threes for the Wildcats.
Nice look ahead in transition, and we got an offensive foul.
Timeout, Illinois.
Aaron Spears trying to set up on the block. The officials get him for clearing out.
7:47 left to go. Duwancic straight on. Good look for 3, and why not? 3 triples in the last 5 minutes for Northwestern. Welcome back to Welsh Arena in Evanston. Good one brewing here between the Fighting Illini of Illinois and the Northwestern Wildcats. Of late, it has been raining trays for Northwestern.
Northwestern started 0 for 4, but they've hit 3 of their last 4. And you'll take a look at 3 of them coming up right here. Here's a shot. Here's Duwancic, and the last one by Vedran Vukosic in transition. In addition to all 3 going in, one other thing glaringly obvious right there. No defender within about 3 feet of the three-point shooter, something that Illinois has to address.
Northwestern, as we mentioned, leads the conference in made at 3-point field goals per game. They also invest a lot in the triple. 22 3-point field goal attempts per game on average for Northwestern. On the block, double down on Vukosic. That leaves Duwancic open. Augustine clears the errant shot.
Right now, if you're Illinois, Wayne, you've got to go back inside. They've gotten away from that in the midst of this Northwestern run.
Has the Northwestern zone affected that? Has it changed what Illinois is able to do offensively?
They've changed defenses up, and I think at times Illinois has had a difficult time identifying exactly what defense they're facing.
Smith over the top can hit that. Mohammed Ashad the rebound. Parker. Here's a shot. Takes it right at the defense. Vukosic open at the arc. Thought he had it. Williams the rebound. D. Brown ran right into his screen man, Nick Smith.
And And Wayne, in addition to looking for him, that's the first time that Augustine has really sat down in the block and asked for the basketball, because there's a responsibility to go around. Yes, the perimeter players have to look inside, but it's also incumbent upon that post player, Wayne, to give that interior feeder a target.
Oh, no question. He's got to demand the ball on occasion in there. D. Brown sets it up. Sometimes I get the impression D. Brown is lost in a half-court game like this. What he needs to do is get into the open floor. Williams, late look inside, and that's stolen away by Jatim Young. A shot, Bakusic to finish, and one. And the lead for Northwestern.
Outstanding job by Northwestern of going from defense to offense. The kick ahead, it started, Illinois tried to go inside. We talked about post play. Nick Smith actually backing away from this basketball. Watch it right here, Wayne. He's backing away. That allows Jatim Young to snake in there. The kick ahead to TJ Parker, then running the floor. Good job by Bakusic keeping his eye on the rim for the finish.
Bakusic has missed a couple of free throws here tonight. Highly unusual for him. It'll belong to Illinois. 6 minutes to go, first half.
When we talked about switching defenses, Northwestern going man right here, giving Illinois a different look.
Well, they've shown man-to-man, 1-3-1, 2-3 here tonight. And you're right, Sean, it's been hard to see exactly where they're going with their defense. Augustine inside, Jatim Young from behind. Thought he got all ball, but he did not, apparently. Foul on Jatim is his first, 5th on the team.
And that's something you saw a lot of last year from the Illini, particularly with Brian Cook in there. And when you have Nick Smith up top operating there, he has the option. He can knock down that 15-footer, so if you don't close out, he'll make you pay that way as well.
Smith. D. Brown thought better of the three. Good job by Bakusic on Augustine on the block. Brown over the top and hits for three. Second triple of the night for D. Brown. Duwancic to the hook shot. Jatim Young blocked by Augustine. Darren Williams sets it up for Illinois. Here's D. Brown. Brown again. Unloads and hits. Second tray in a row for D. Brown. He's got 11.
This coming from a guy that had really been struggling with that part of his game the last 3 or 4 times out, about 30% on the year.
Just over 30% this season from the arc for D. Brown, but he's feeling it tonight. Bakusic for three to answer. Not that time.
Well, I tell you what, Illinois really dodged a bullet on that possession, because when Northwestern's been able to get their feet set, they've been knocking down the threes, and you know that's what Northwestern wants to do. For Illinois, you have to close out, make them beat you off the dribble.
The work from the arc, and Brown, by the way, is 3 of 5 shooting from the arc here tonight. Top 25 scores, including some Big Ten games. Purdue, the early lead on Wisconsin. Wisconsin's been 28 years since they won down at Purdue. Michigan State out in front of Penn State in East Lansing, and everybody wondering, is Michigan State going to be able to put together a run here this year? 2-3 zone it appears right now. Augustine inside, nicely done. Good patience by the Illini there, Sean.
Excellent execution in the half-court set. They made the Northwestern defense work. Then poor ball pressure allowed the good interior feed and the finish with the left hand by Augustine.
So after a spurt that got them a lead, Northwestern has cooled considerably, and Illinois has taken the lead. Bakusic stripped away by Darren Williams. Deflection to TJ Parker. 10 to go on the shot clock. Parker. Duwancic. Bakusic beats the clock. And it'll belong to Illinois. 3:38 to go first half. Illinois back in front, leading Northwestern by 6. Welcome back to Northwestern. Ah, there it is. Take a look at that game face. My goodness.
They must have put that up to keep the rodents away or something. I don't know.
That would scare a Kevin McHale, wouldn't it?
That sure would. And I think there was a small nest of condors in that hair at one time.
Oh, part of the Hall of Fame here at Northwestern. Welsh Ryan Arena, beautiful arena, very intimate setting, a great arena for college basketball. Illinois leading it by 6 in possession. D. Brown wanted to go inside to Augustine, well covered by Makusic, who for the most part has done a pretty good job of denying the post feed into Augustine. Brown bottled up. D. Williams, Northwestern, 2-3 zone at the moment. Time winding down to the shot clock. D. Brown, wow, hit that one from Aurora. Holy cow. Talk about a deep 3. He's got 14 points. 4 of his 5 field goals are from well beyond the arc.
And rather than the last 3 or 4 games where it looked like every shot he was working against himself and struggling, he's catching the ball in rhythm. Really looks good shooting it.
Jatim Young was fouled on the way to the bucket by Darren Williams on the block.
Northwestern, Wayne, did a pretty good job in that defensive sequence. There's not much you can do about that when a guy loads up from out there.
And you can't question the shot selection because the shot clock was winding down. He had to shoot it.
5 of 7 for the backcourt from Illinois tonight from 3. You contrast that to last time out against Purdue, where they were 4 of 15.
Jatim Young here tonight, just 2 points on a field goal. Makes good on the first, still have another. Young slowed by a bloody nose at Iowa, had 8 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. He didn't manage to play 35 minutes. Young makes a pair. He's got 4 points in the game. Illinois leading it by 7. Northwestern back in the zone. They come out to get D. Brown, however. Mohamed Ashad.
Shot had 4 steals at Iowa City. Very long arms.
Luther Head. Good ball movement around the perimeter. Richard McBride out of the corner.
Nice block out.
Block out on Smith by Dowancic. Two minutes to go in this first half. Makusic. Young elevates for 3. Smith is there for the rebound. Young has shot the 3 ball at a high percentage this season.
And Makusic is down on the far side of the floor. He lost a shoe, and I don't know if he turned his ankle or what happened, but
well, he's got that ankle wrapped up pretty well.
If you remember last year, Wayne, he had to sit out the entire season with shoulder surgery.
Let's see if we can pick up what happened here. As I mentioned, he's been battling Augustine.
I don't know if he just landed awkwardly.
He was heading out of our picture on that replay, and we couldn't quite see, but it did look like he tripped somewhat.
They're checking the stability of that left knee right now.
Maybe we'll get a better look at it here.
He lost his shoe, and as a result of that, his foot slipped out from under him.
And that, I mean, you could do any number of things, including pull a muscle, but they're working on the knee. You're exactly right. Coming up at halftime, we'll take a look at scores from around the Big Ten. Gene Cady tries for his 500th win at Purdue tonight as the Boilermakers play host to the Wisconsin Badgers, and the Penn State Nittany Lions try to make it 3 in a row in conference play, but they're on the road at Michigan State. We'll also have highlights and analysis on our game. That's all coming up at halftime. At halftime, 1:47 away. But the concern for Northwestern and the buzz in the crowd now is on Vedran Makusic, who's played so well for these Wildcats this season. In the last 7 games, matter of fact, has stepped his scoring up to 19.4 points per game. 5 games of 20 points or more.
We talked about the shoulder problems he had a year ago, Wayne, and you know, he came in, he had a shoulder problem as a true freshman. They operated on it after the conclusion of his first year at Northwestern. He came back after that surgery, and in the second exhibition game Same shoulder, different part of it went out. He missed a whole year. Right now, that really favoring that left knee.
Every time this poor kid seems to get it on track and really play like they know he can play, and the players, you know, you talk to a Tony Parker or a Jatim Young and they think, hey, we got an NBA player on our hands here in this kid. Every time he gets it going like that, it seems like, unfortunately for him, he's had injury problems, been injury riddled throughout his career here at Northwestern. Hopefully it's not serious and he'll be able to return for the second half.
He's able to at least put some weight on it.
Luther Head. And again, we talked also about Northwestern's numbers. Not a very deep basketball team, so they could ill afford to lose a player like Vikusic. Northwestern working it hard on defense. D. Brown picked up by Kawancic. Nick Smith open at the baseline.
Nice two-man game right there by Brown and Smith. Reminiscent of almost Karl Malone and Stockton, the old screen and roll.
Yep.
Kawancic had to make a decision, and Smith made him pay.
Northwestern out trailing it by 9. Jatim Young with a good catch at the baseline, backing in, and what do we get?
They got the forearm shove in the back as
D. Brown gets called for the foul, I believe, his second. Oh, I beg your pardon, Luther Head on the foul, his first. 19 fouls on Illinois. Northwestern still has a foul to give in this first half. They have 5 team fouls. Jatim Young back at the free throw line. Missed the front end of the 1-and-1. Points have been hard to come by since Northwestern took a 27-25 lead late in this first half. Luther Head sets up Smith. Head, oh, got into no man's land, went off Smith. Head picks up, now goes baseline and throws it away. Or did he? Nope. Last touch by Northwestern. It will belong to Illinois. And now a timeout called by the Illini. Luther Head got into the proverbial no man's land and used the back of his teammate to bail him out.
Then almost threw it away again.
Yeah, he did. This Saturday, join us for an exciting Big Ten doubleheader on many of these ESPN Plus stations. Mike Gleason and Sean Morris tip things off at the studio at noon Eastern. Then it's Minnesota, Ohio State, followed by Northwestern, Indiana. Big Ten basketball Saturday starting at noon Eastern from ESPN Plus, the worldwide leader in collegiate sports. Well, you spent a weekend under the bright lights of the studio. Do they have somebody there to dry your forehead a little bit?
I think they just put a bag over my head. That'd save people a lot of time.
Take care of the makeup and all. We're going to see Chris Humphreys. Got a look at him the other night, and he's the real deal, I'll tell you. Great player.
Leading the conference in both scoring and rebounding. Just a real physical specimen. Runs the floor extremely well. People that haven't had a chance to see that young man play are in for a treat.
Join us early on Saturday afternoon from Ohio State. D. Brown on the drive. Finally, the rebound cleared by Hashad. Parker sets the offense. About a 1-second difference. Shot clock to game clock.
If you're Northwestern, take it all the way down. Don't give Illinois another possession with the way they've been executing offensively.
Now Parker looks to go to work. Scott from the outside for 3. I'm not sure that's the shot they wanted. Good if it goes for Nick Smith. It is no good, but enough did go for Illinois in this first half. D. Brown was outstanding, especially from the arc. 5 of 10 from the field, 4 of them three-pointers. And he leads Illinois to a 38-29 halftime lead over Northwestern. Stay tuned. We'll have scores and highlights, plus some features on Northwestern, Illinois, and the Big Ten, all coming up at halftime. But down the stretch, points are hard to come by for the Wildcats. Meanwhile, Illinois got its offense back on track.
They really did. They did an outstanding job, particularly in their secondary break, of climbing out to this 9-point bulge.
Let's take a look at the Country Insurance first half highlights.
Northwestern in transition. Nice look ahead by Jatim Young. Vedran Vukusic able to spot up and knock down the three. But Illinois very crisp. Here a nice interior feed to Nick Smith allows Darren Williams to spot up, knock it down. And then something we thought that we'd see a lot from Illinois going inside. Good execution in the half court. Augustine with the finish.
But the real story for Illinois was at the arc, where they were 6 of 11, and D. Brown especially sharp from the outside tonight. 4 of 6 shooting from three-point land for D. Brown. He came in barely 31% from the outside heading into tonight's game. This one he took from downstate Aurora. Illinois at halftime on the lead. We'll be back. 25th ranked Illinois leading 38-29 at halftime, and they've been led by D. Brown, the only man in double figures thus far tonight. Here's how he got there.
Well, he's come into this ballgame struggling from behind the arc, but you wouldn't have known it by watching this series. Nice ball reversal allows D. Brown on the perimeter here. Just a poor job of closing out by Northwestern, and he's in the rhythm. He's catching the ball, and watch his feet. They get set. They're squared to the rim. He's able to elevate. Really shooting the ball well from behind the arc.
Time now for the College of Illinois first half stats, and you get a look at the numbers right there. We expected Illinois would have a rebounding edge, and they do. They're doing a much better job at the arc than we expected. We thought a little bit more inside, and the turnovers have been rather quiet for both sides here in this first half of play. But that shooting from the outside from the arc has been one of the stories in this ball game here tonight. D. Brown off to a terrific first half.
And of those 16 field goals for the Illini, Wayne, 13 have come via an assist, an outstanding ratio. And if you're looking at things from Northwestern's perspective, as you take a look at D. Brown, Vedran Vukusic, who went down toward the end of that first half, we've just been told it's a left knee injury, will not return this evening.
Hopefully not an extensive injury that would keep him out for any length of time, but it will keep him out for the rest of tonight's game at least.
And a bench that was thin now just gets Kate Moss thin if you're Northwestern.
Yes. I had a line to go along with that, but I don't think so. Mohamed Ashad to Jatim Young. Dowancic, who replaces Vukusic in the lineup. He will go to the line. Blocking foul coming up on Illinois' Roger Powell, and that is the 3rd personal foul on Powell.
Well, he can't buy a break.
No.
He fouls out in 13 minutes against Ohio State, sits out a lot of this first half with 2 quick fouls. And
the officials know his number, don't they? Maybe Bruce Weber ought to change his number.
So at this rate, he might pick up a foul at training table next time.
Meanwhile, Davor Dowancic, who had 5 points in the first half at the line. And Bruce saying, hey, what's a guy got to do to get a break here? Northwestern 6th in the conference in team free throw shooting at just under 70%. Illinois right behind 7th in the league. 2 at the line for Dowancic. So important, especially in a college game, the first 3, 4, 5 minutes of the second half. Northwestern in a zone. Illinois, good ball movement. Roger Powell turns away from the crowd. Left it short, and Scott the rebound. Northwestern. Parker in transition. Has a shot out front before the Iowa game after the disappointing performance of the Big Ten opener at Michigan. The 2 guards, Ashad and Parker, had a conversation in French and discussed their problems in the backcourt and came out on fire in Iowa City. Dowancic for 3. Dowancic doing a pretty good imitation of Vukusic.
Well, boy, they'll really need for him to step up, and they're also going to need Northwestern, Will, for Jatim Young to really elevate his offensive game with the 2nd leading scorer for them, Vukusic, out for the remainder of this ball game, Wayne.
D. Brown wide open. Not this time. Inside, Randall gets fouled on the putback attempt. Good rebound and good salvo to the bucket. He will go to the line.
With Dowancic, we talked about his performance in the first half. Little dribble penetration. And once again, Wayne, just a poor job right there by Augustine of closing out and contesting that 3-point shot.
Brian Randall misses the first of the line. He's yet to score here tonight. The foul was on Vince Scott, his 2nd personal foul. First on Northwestern in this second half. 1 out of 2 for the freshman out of Peoria. Notre Dame High School in Peoria, Brian Randall. TJ Parker. Dewancic to the left hand. Off the glass.
Wow, we saw him do that with the right hand on Saturday, but the answer's with the left hand here off the window.
Part of the Croatian connection. Good feed from Randall into Roger Powell.
And a tough catch right there by Powell. And the freshman Vince Scott a little late coming over the top, allowing that entry pass.
Scott out high. TJ Parker, we've got something off the ball. And while they sort it out, let's take a look at Powell on the other side. Good catch.
Watch that catch and the ability to regather. But you saw number 52, Vince Scott, late coming in. But here's Davor Dewancic going off the glass. That's good, worth a good at least HO in the game of HORSE.
Augustine a foul off the ball a moment ago, his second. And the second on Illinois here in this second stanza. Young looking to penetrate. Goes to the reverse and hits and will go to the line. My goodness.
Now, Wayne, I'm going to show my age here, but that was reminiscent of Adrian Dantley, the way he squared up, spin move, got to the rim, uses the rim. Now, watch this spin. Then you got the 7-2 guy. Watch him use the rim right there to shield the defender. In that case, Randall take the contact and the score.
Jatim misses on the free throw. And the Illini back the other way. The Illinois lead has shrunk to 3 as Northwestern makes an early run in this second half. Nick Smith in the lineup for Illinois. Squares up off the baseline. And the rebound, Jatim Young timed his leap perfectly, as he often does. TJ Parker.
Smart move by Northwestern, Wayne, slowing it down in this possession, trying to catch their breath.
There's the shot clock, left-hand corner of your screen. Jatim Young looking to slash. Parker, deep three, ring it up.
Dribble penetration by Jatim Young. And TJ Parker hits one from almost the same spot that D. Brown hit one in the first half.
I think he was at Hinsdale, whereas Parker was out in Aurora. Or I should say the other way around. D. Brown was way outside. But you're right, a deep three there. Good ball movement, though. Got both of those shots we're talking about off. Here's Brown. Again, Northwestern in the zone. Oh, nice skip pass off the baseline. Williams on the drive. Well done.
Nice job by Darren Williams. Good shot fake. Gets the defender up in the air, then able to finish under control in the lane.
Northwestern trails by 2. TJ make that the bank shot by Hashad for the lead for 3. McBride to Smith. Knocked away by Hashad. Here comes Jatim Young. Step through. No, he traveled. Jatim Young turns it over. 15:50 left to go in the game. Northwestern takes the lead. Earlier it was Parker. Later Hashad with a couple of trays. 1 point Northwestern advantage. 15-5 run to start the second half by Northwestern. And Mohamed Hashad gives them the lead right here.
Little dribble penetration and the kick out. Not exactly textbook of the way they use the glass, but if you're Northwestern, you'll take it. And you take a look at the backcourt for Northwestern. We talked about the importance of them getting production from them. They got that on Iowa. It led to a win. They've stepped it up right here in the second half in the absence of Kuzic.
Northwestern extends the defense, now settles back into a zone. Northwestern 3 of 3 at the arc here at the outset of the second half.
Northwestern switching defenses again.
And they've done a good job of denying the entry feeds, the low post play that Illinois seeks down inside, and now finally they sneak Nick Smith free, and he's fouled on the way to the bucket.
Good look by Darren Williams. A nice job by Nick Smith of finding the seam. But what was lacking right there from Northwestern's perspective, Wayne, was pressure on the basketball. Darren Williams did not have a hand in his face, was able to survey the floor and find the 7-2 Smith.
Ivan Tolic picks up his second personal foul. That's the second on the Wildcats, and Nick Smith at the free throw line. Smith in the Big Ten opener against Ohio State was absolutely outstanding. He didn't miss a shot. He was 9 for 9 to the free throw line, 6 of 6 from the field, and a career high 22 points and 9 rebounds. 4 points here tonight for Nick Smith. We're at Welsh Ryan Arena in Evanston, Illinois, 25th ranked team in the nation in the Northwestern Wildcats. Along with Sean Morris, I'm Wayne Larrivee. Wonderful to have you with us for this Big Ten evening of basketball. Almost 5 minutes gone by second half. Tolic, and off the ball, Jatim Young goes down, and they're going to get a takedown call on, if I'm not mistaken, Darren Williams. Let's see. It is Darren Williams. His third personal, fourth on the team.
That's his third. It's the team's fourth.
Northwestern, when they're working their offense well, a lot of movement off the ball.
And if you're the opponent of Northwestern, what you're trying to do is just offset that rhythm by bumping the cutter.
Yep.
There they caught Darren Williams doing that on Jatim Young.
TJ Park over D. Brown. Nick Smith the rebound. Quick outlet to Brown. Boy, Northwestern back on defense right away. D. Brown. The skip pass. Richard McBride. Jatim Young is there. Illinois leading by the slimmest of margins, and Northwestern sets up with a chance to take the lead. Boy, Nick Smith showed well on that screen. Here's Tolic, given plenty of room outside. Young looking to penetrate. Dewancic step back three over Augustine. Ring it up. 4 3-pointers, and then the lead to Augustine. Well done.
Great look ahead by Illinois. Northwestern a little tardy. Augustine able to get behind that second line of defense. Good catch and finish.
Tied once again, this time at 47. Boy, this has been a good one here tonight. Tolic. Northwestern without Vedran Vakusic here in the second half due to a knee injury suffered late in the first half. Dewancic off the screen. And the long rebound picked off by D. Brown. Smoking into the open court. Here comes McBride. Williams for three. Augustine the long carom. Illinois remains on the attack.
Nice job by Augustine creating pressure. That's why Illinois is second in the conference in offensive rebounding.
Brown. Picked up on a switch by Tolic. Here's Williams. Williams cuts to the baseline. A little too strong. Augustine, another offensive rebound. And this possession continues for Illinois.
And that's been something that Northwestern struggled with all year, Wayne. Done a pretty good job of stopping the initial thrust, but once the ball's gone up on the glass, it's been a problem point.
Smith denied on the drive, but fouled by Tolic. His third personal, third on the team.
Northwestern foul number 10, Ivan Tolic. That's his third. It's the team's third.
And what happens, in addition to giving Illinois a second and in this case a third chance opportunity, what it does is it makes a very thin Northwestern squad, Wayne, play defense for an extra 35 seconds every time that ball changes possession.
And it takes more energy to play defense than it does offense. Or at least it feels that way. It always did, didn't it? Here's Nick Smith. 4 points here tonight. Thing about Nick Smith as he misses a rare free throw. There's a look at that bench. A little empty on that bench there without Vakusic. Bill Carmody has to get Tolic out of the lineup now as he picked up his third personal. Vince Scott back in. Vedran Vakusic will not play the second half, we're told. Scott had it knocked out of bounds by McBride. It'll belong to Northwestern. Fresh troops on the other hand for the Illini. Luther Head comes back on along with Roger Powell. Nick Smith and Richard McBride get a break. Northwestern, one of the, I guess you'd say, thinner teams in the Big Ten. Illinois, one of the deeper clubs.
Yeah, you certainly don't need a telescope to see to the end of that bench.
Yeah. Parker, Scott, trying to play a little two-man game here. Parker picked up at a switch for a moment by Powell.
Good job by Illinois, Wayne, of keeping Northwestern exclusively on the perimeter.
Jatim Young goes inside. You're right. They had nothing going for most of that possession, and Jatim Young had to take it upon himself to make something happen.
And what upper body strength to finish. He reloaded on the way down, Wayne.
That's how Michael Jordan used to shoot him, on the way down. He would elevate a little higher, but Williams leaves it short. Augustine chases it down once again. Good nose for the ball.
3 straight possessions that Augustine's kept it alive for the Illini.
Luther Head. But Illinois has been unable to penetrate this zone, at least not on a consistent basis. Brown ring it up for 3. D. Brown with 17. Illinois back in front. So we are seesawing through this second half. Jatim Young make that T.J. Parker as it blocked inside. Augustine takes the carom. I believe Powell got a piece of that. Luther Head, not that time. Jatim Young on the run. Parker running the post lane. No, but a foul.
That's 4 on Williams. That's 4 on Williams in transition. Good recognition, Wayne, by Northwestern that they had the numbers. They kick it ahead. They get it to Parker, and that's a 4th big foul on Darren Williams, who's leading the conference in assists and really been running the show effectively here this evening.
And it will send T.J. Parker to the free throw line. Parker, 72% from the foul line.
2 shots, fellas, relax. 2 shots.
And he's got 2 coming up. Parker at Iowa, 11 points, 5 of 12 from the field. But he had 5 assists and 4 steals in the game. Northwestern had 4 players in double figures on Saturday. 20 of the 55 Wildcat shots were from beyond the arc. And that's a lower percentage compared to what it normally is for Northwestern. 1 out of 2 at the line. Tied at 50. Augustine trying to get open inside. They've been fronting Augustine all night and effectively. Northwestern extends the defense a little bit. Now Brown, quick pull-up over Jatim Young. Augustine, another offensive rebound. That's his 5th in this half. McBride, quick entry, Augustine. Well done.
Outstanding job. You have to reward Augustine. He's kept alive possession after possession for you. Good ball reversal, able to catch and finish. Right now, Northwestern giving Illinois more second chances than Robert Downey Jr., Wayne.
Hashad driving hard.
Well, what a fun ball game.
Both sides, neither one backing down. Near steal by Hashad. Brown to McBride. Right back to D. Brown on the penetration. Over Scott. Roger Powell wouldn't go. Finally, Northwestern clears. Tied at 52. Parker wants to run some offense. Scott will advance it out front. Inside of 10 minutes to go in this one. Northwestern playing with a lot of confidence garnered from a victory on the road. Their first in Big Ten play away from home in 2 years at Iowa on Saturday.
The floor spread the way it is. You might have a chance at one of those back doors.
Parker comes up short. Augustine, yet another rebound.
Boy, he's a man on the glass right now.
He's been a man among boys up front.
Already 13 rebounds, Wayne.
McBride had a chance to measure that one. Sometimes you can have too much time. Maybe that was the case. Hashad the rebound. Under 9 minutes to go. Tied at 52. Illinois, 25th ranked team in the nation. Only 2 ranked teams out of the Big Ten Conference, Wisconsin and Illinois. And Illinois being pressed on the road, coming off a loss at home to Purdue. 10 to go on the shot clock. 40% of the Northwestern possessions went below the 10-second mark on the shot clock at Iowa. Parker on the drive, 3-8. Young, the rebound, and the best rebounding guard in the Big Ten on the offensive glass.
But you see what dribble penetration does, Wayne. They had to come over and contest the initial offering from Parker, allowing Young a clear path to the rim.
The student section now, the wild side into this one. Brown watched by Hashad. Here's Augustine banging with Scott. Double down by Hashad. Brown with 7 to go on the shot clock. A deep 3. Backhand rebound. Jatim Young. Fake the pass, takes it off the glass.
Outstanding job by Jatim Young of looking off the defender. Brown had a decision to make. Young made him pay.
And Northwestern enjoys its biggest lead of the night. Jatim Young, a one-man fast break against D. Brown on the drive. Northwestern on the lead.
Why can't I come up?
Sorry, Sarah, but there's no girls allowed.
Not even girls with old recipe ice cream?
Prairie Farms Premium Old Recipe Ice Cream is full of all the homemade goodness that smart women know kids love.
So from now on, there are going to be some new rules around here. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Taste the homemade goodness of Old Recipe Ice Cream.
Good gas, good neighbors. Citgo, we know you.
Used to be really good grass control. Came at a cost to the health of your corn. But that was before Option herbicide. It's the first post-emerge grass herbicide with a built-in safener. Option gets all your major grasses and allows you to use higher caliber tank mixes. So you can also get your broadleaves, all without worrying about crop safety. Option, grass control that puts you in control.
I love my job because I get to work with people. I totally consider my clients friends. I appreciate it when they actually ask me over for dinner.
I feel if you don't know a person personally, then how do you know what insurance they're really going to need?
We are real people. We all have the same goals, we have the same ambitions, and some of the same fears.
We definitely think of the client in personal terms.
When they trust you and they like you and you've helped them, it makes me feel great.
This is my country.
Call me anytime.
Welcome back to Northwestern. The Wildcats enjoy a 4-point advantage over 25th ranked Illinois. Jatim Young, 7 rebounds, 2 on the offensive glass.
Leading scorer for Northwestern, picking it up in the absence of Adron Vukuzic. Here, good dribble drive, takes the contact, able to snake in at 6'2", and finish with the shot clock winding down, and then the last basket. Good job in transition of looking off the defender Brown for the finish.
And again, an assortment of zone defenses by Northwestern as and Illinois in many cases trying to decipher what the Wildcats are doing on the defensive end and denying the Illini the ability to take advantage of their big people inside. D. Brown, 3 to go on the shot clock. Still on the perimeter. Richard McBride to beat the clock. A shot up high for the rebound. Boy, the guards have played well once again for Northwestern here tonight.
They really have, Wayne, and Northwestern 67% of the floor. They're going inside. Illinois 28%. They're starting to revert back to what we saw on Saturday, living by the 3.
Young sets up a shot for 3. Young battling D. Brown. Brown went up and got it over the best rebounding guard of the Big Ten. Great rebound by D. Brown. Lost his footing, and the scrum is on. Timeout, Illinois. Well, this is becoming a little bit of a football game now. But talk about hustle on both ends. It's getting down to crunch time with 6:36 left to go and a timeout taken on the floor. I believe a 30-second timeout called by Illinois here. Take a look at the option stats flash, and we took a look at it in the first half of the arc and in the second half as well. It's been prevalent. Now Northwestern has caught Illinois in this three-point derby.
And Illinois were very efficient, the Illini were in the first half, because they were getting good looks as a result of going inside, making Northwestern work. Here in the second half, a lot of the threes have been hurried. They have not probed the interior defense of Northwestern, making them react, and as a result, the percentage has plummeted.
Is there anything that, again, Northwestern is doing to deny Illinois down low specifically? Is it just a changing of the defenses? Is it the 1-3-1, the 2-3? What's going on?
You're seeing the shot kind of float around a little bit, Wayne, giving some help, taking away that interior feed, using those long arms. But if you're Illinois, you still have to be a little bit more patient and probe that defense, because Northwestern not able to go as deep as the Illini.
Richard McBride. And again, Northwestern extending its defense a little bit with the guards. D. Brown looking to penetrate, chased out of there by Duancic. Luther head for three, strong on that one. Back tap to Shad. And recaptured on the play by Luther Head. Inside, Roger Powell exploded the bucket and was taken out of the air by T.J. Parker. Good foul by Parker.
Yeah, if you're going to give it, make him earn it from the foul stripe. But once again, Wayne, Illinois settled by a three from Head, lucky to come back with possession.
25th ranked Illinois on the road at Northwestern Welsh Ryan Arena in Evanston, along with Sean Morris. I'm Wayne Larrabee. Nice to have you with us for this most entertaining Big Ten game here tonight. Roger Powell, 8 points, 6 of which came in the first half. Nick Smith, they've always had to watch his minutes a little bit. And he's had, I believe it's an asthma problem over the course of his
stamina
career.
becomes a problem, and I think as a result, you're going to see Augustine coming in for him.
Powell missed them both. So Northwestern dodges a bullet, maintains a 4-point advantage. Coming up on 6 minutes to go in the game. Northwestern playing the second half without Bedran Bakusic, one of their leading scorers who suffered a knee injury in the first half. He will not play the second half.
Boy, good on the ball defense by Head.
Jatim Young has to take it himself and hits.
Well, Luther Head did a pretty good job, Wayne, of on-the-ball defense, but he did not get any help from his teammates. He turned Jatim Young into the lane. Someone has to rotate over, give him some help.
6-point lead, Northwestern, biggest of the night for the home team. D. Brown penetrates just a bit. Luther Head has it knocked away, and a foul coming up, I believe. They got Hashad. Mohamed Hashad, only his first, 5th on the team, however. Bill Carmody, a sip of the Gatorade. Boy, his team has played well these last 2 games.
And how big was that 4th foul on Darren Williams? He's coming back into the ball game, had really done a nice job of running the half-court sets for Illinois. He had to go to the bench with 4 fouls. Northwestern extended the lead. He's at the table right now, getting ready to check in.
Luther Head with the first of 2. Illinois 7th in the Big Ten in free throw shooting. There's the substitution Sean spoke of a moment ago.
And Wayne, if you're Northwestern, it's imperative right now that you squeeze down and block out. Second chance points have been a big story here in the second half.
3 points for Luther Head. Jatim Young, Northwestern's leading scorer. Watch this drive. Shot clock winding down, off the glass for 2 more.
introducing the all-new Toyota Tundra Double Cab. Not just big, life-sized. Tom's enjoying a delicious Dunkin' Donuts coffee. So smooth, so mild.
Made from only the finest beans, selected with care, meticulously tested and brewed under the most exacting conditions, all to give you the most consistently excellent coffee available. Delicious.
Buy a large or extra large coffee and play Sip, Scratch, and Score. Every correct answer is a winner. See store for detail.
Has anyone seen Johnson?
He called in again.
Must really be sick. What'd he get?
Comcast cable. Just $19.99 per month for the next 3 months.
I heard they got to fly the grandmother in.
Order today and also get Digital Classic with HBO for just $14.99 more per month for 3 months. Enough to keep you entertained all winter long.
Has anyone seen Miller?
The new Lexus ES 330 with front-wheel drive and available vehicle stability control. It will help keep you on the road, assuming you can find it. Find your Chicago area Lexus dealer.
Illinois fans have helped sell out this arena here tonight, but they are way up in the rafters. Sean Morris, though there is some orange down below. A sea of orange up in the shadows, as they say.
What a great atmosphere here this evening. And you know what, Wayne, it's kind of reminiscent of what we saw Penn State on Saturday. To see the energy in the Bryce Jordan Center as they got their second conference win. This is a great atmosphere right now for college basketball.
You saw the field goal shooting. Illinois is 4 of 11 at the free throw line. If they cannot come back and get this win, they might be able to point to the line as a reason why. Timeout taken by Northwestern now with 5 minutes straight up to go in the game, and it's a 30-second timeout.
And Wayne, Northwestern took that timeout because Illinois went zone. Coach Bill Carmody wants to get his zone buster in there, Evans Seacat, to try to shoot over the top of it.
This Saturday, join us for an exciting Big Ten doubleheader. Mike Gleason and Sean Morris tip things off in the studio at noon Eastern. Then it's Minnesota at Ohio State, followed by Northwestern at Indiana. Big Ten basketball, Saturday, noon Eastern from ESPN+, the worldwide leader in collegiate sports. Meanwhile, Purdue by 10 in the second half over Wisconsin. That game being played at Purdue's pace right now. And Michigan State piling it on Penn State. Have they burst the Nittany Lions bubble? You wonder.
That's the first road game for that freshman backcourt of Penn State, and a little bit different going in to the Breslin Center.
To the is zone. Yes. Going into the is zone. That's a different part of the country. You're right. Northwestern resumes offensively. Seacat is in the ball game. The zone buster. There he is. 3-point specialist.
And Illinois goes man-to-man.
Young sets up to Doncic for 3. And he got the bounce. Ring it up. Oh, my.
18 points for Doncic.
His third triple of the second half, 4th of the night. Augustine back in there. Wild shot, didn't get the bounce.
And right now, Illinois has lost their composure in the half-court set.
Biggest lead of the night for Northwestern. Gut check time for the 25th ranked Fighting Illini of Illinois.
Now for Northwestern, you want to shorten this ball game, Wayne. Use the shot clock. Make Illinois play the full 35 seconds on defense.
The wild side student section making their presence felt. 7 to go on the shot clock, down to 5. Parker pull off 3. Rebound batted and back tap. Scott and Augustine were going after it. They kept it alive. Here's Head. Darren Williams gives up 3 for 2. Everything a little strong. Roger Powell, big time rebound there. Gets fouled inside as he was undercut by T.J. Parker. Second on Parker. That is the 6th on the team.
And offensive rebounding once again bails out Illinois, but I really thought that that shot was way too quick. Illinois does not have to settle for 3s right now. A lot of time.
3:38 left to go. We've got a timeout on the floor. Northwestern enjoying an 8-point advantage. And watch the bounce of the ball right here for Davor Dowancic. One of those nights. Maybe.
This field was treated with Balance Pro herbicide.
It sat there for 15 days without a drop of rain, and the weeds came up again.
And then it rained. And Recharge got them like that.
We know because this is our field.
Since 1999, Balance Pro has been used successfully on more than 21 million acres. That's the power of Recharge.
Rest assured, tuition secured. Your kids have it made when tuition's prepaid.
As your kids get bigger, tuition grows too. But don't worry, we're here to help you.
Stop tuition inflation with College Illinois prepaid education.
Buy it now, and your kids' tuition is safe. When they're ready, it can be used any place.
Rest assured, tuition secured. Your kids have it made when tuition's prepaid.
They're saying just what I've been saying for years. High school ballers just aren't prepared for the NBA. That's funny. They're saying the Dolphins' secondary is unstoppable. I was just saying the same thing. What the?
People are busy with families and careers. They don't want to spend a lot of extra time taking care of their insurance needs.
My mom never puts me on hold, and my mom never says, can I just call you right back? I have something else that I need to do.
When you call us, you don't have to wait around. You're going to talk to a real person.
Right off the bat. Claims happen quickly because at 2 o'clock in the morning, when they have a pipe break, they want you there at 3 o'clock in the morning.
This is my country.
If I say I'm going to call you back, that doesn't mean next Tuesday.
This ESPN Plus game is brought to you by Balance Pro, the power of Recharge. And by Shelter Insurance. For your insurance needs, visit shelterinsurance.com to find the shelter agent near you. Seek shelter today. Boy, on the Wild side, they are fired up now. Illinois, this is the juncture of games where they miss the Big Ten Player of the Year, Brian Cook, from a season ago. His leadership, his quiet demeanor, his calm on the court. And Sean Harrington, a zone buster from the outside if ever there was one. Both graduated last year. Illini up against it. Trailing by 8, coming up on 3.5 to go. Williams. D. Brown flying off the screen on the baseline. Smith for 3 off the mark. Augustine double teamed on the rebound, knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Northwestern.
And boy, James Augustine just doing a job on the glass, already with a double-double, 5 offensive rebounds.
Can he keep Illinois in it?
Make lifetime memories at the Chicago Boat, RV, and Outdoor Show. See the best selection of boats, RVs, and vacation destinations Wednesday, January 21st through Sunday the 25th at McCormick Place. For e-tickets and more information, go to chicagoboatshow.com. The best place to see boats and RVs is the best place to buy them. Don't miss out. Get started on a lifetime of memories at the Chicago Boat, RV, and Outdoor Show, January 21st through the 25th.
You really need to see this.
On January 23rd, unlock your memory.
It's just a dream.
Didn't feel like a dream.
Undo the past.
What is happening to him?
And the effect takes hold of you.
Just by being here, you may be killing Kaylee.
Changing everything.
He has to die!
Ashton Kutcher, Amy Smart, Ethan Suplee.
Stop!
The Butterfly Effect. Rated R. Starts Friday, January 23rd.
Coming up on the King of Queens.
What time you think you'll be home?
We got some bad news, honey.
Yes!
The boys hit the road for some fun.
Woo! Atlantic City!
City of the Atlantic.
But Doug loses his shirt.
I hate my own.
And now he's telling all.
Harry, that was bad!
It's a crapshoot on the King of Queens.
Tonight after the game on Channel 26, The U.
We welcome you back to Big Ten basketball from ESPN Plus. Tonight, the 25th ranked Fighting Illini of Illinois against the Northwestern Wildcats. Welsh Arena in Evanston, Illinois, along with Sean Morris. I'm Wayne Lara. It'd be great to have you with us. The game reset now. The timeout story for these two teams, and you get a look at it right there. Darren Williams. Well, he walked. Yes, he did. They didn't call it. Inside on the interior as Duwancic tried to front Augustine. They call him for the foul.
And that will put Illinois to the line. That's the 7th team foul for Northwestern, Wayne. But if you're Illinois, that has not exactly been a welcome location. They're 4 of 11 here from the ball game from the charity stripe.
And if they are unable to come back through the Herculean efforts of James Augustine off the boards, I think Bruce Weber and company will be able to point to the free throw line as part of the reason.
And if you're Illinois, where would you be offensively without the 12 offensive rebounds where they've gotten second and in some cases third and fourth opportunities in a possession?
In this second half especially, and Augustine misses the front end of the 1-and-1. Rebound knocked out of bounds, and it's going to belong to Illinois. Last touch, I believe, by Scott.
And if you're Northwestern, that's something that just can't happen when you have to squeeze the ball. They did a pretty good job of blocking out, but that's only half the battle. Have to go get the ball.
Williams on the inbound to D. Brown. Illinois had 6 3-point field goals in the first half. They have 1 in the entire second half. Hashad guilty of a bump here. A little ticky-tack foul, but nonetheless a foul.
And if you're Northwestern, you just don't want that to happen. Darren Williams, he's about 25 feet away from the rim. And what happens now is even though Illinois has struggled from the stripe, it gives them a chance to cut into this 8-point lead with the clock stopped.
And Mohammed Hashad was called over to Bill Carmody for that piece of instruction you just enunciated. Darren Williams puts in a free throw for Illinois, which has been a rare occurrence here in the late going of the second half. And we get a whistle before that shot attempt or as it was happening?
Oh, wow. They get Vince Scott. So Illinois gets the basket, Wayne, and now Powell's going to go to the foul line. Watch it in the inside of your screen. They get him for clearing out with that inside arm. So now this has a chance to be a 4-point possession for Illinois, and more importantly for the Illini with the clock stopped.
Yep, that's the big key. Still 2:55 to go in the game. Scott has to leave, and you did see the clear out. Had a good look at it. And now Roger Powell at the free throw line. Powell 0 for 2 from there.
And that's a tough call in this situation, but Wayne, that's a freshman mistake. You can do a lot with your lower body, but once you extend your forearm, it makes it very visible to the official.
Powell misses the front end of the 1-and-1. A rebound by Ivan Tolic. Boy, Illinois continues to struggle at the line overall.
Well, that was close to a 10-second count right there.
Illinois extends the defense. Desperation time for the Fighting Illini. Very nearly an over and back, it appeared, although I think one of the Illini tipped it.
And Wayne, right now with Illinois overplaying, now's a chance for Northwestern to possibly get a back door.
Or Duwancic on the drive. He gets fouled. Duwancic making a quick move on his own. Roger Powell gets the foul, his 4th. 6 on the team, but it is a shooting foul for Duwancic. What a game he's played, especially in the second half. 13 second half points, 3 3-point field goals for Duwancic.
Wow. And he steps up there at 53% from the charity stripe, Wayne, and just drains it.
Like a 90%er, huh? Like, what's the big deal? Percentage caught up with him.
Oh,
The rebound down low. His shot could not convert. Boy, and he took it away from Augustine.
Great strength by Young.
Williams from the outside for three. Huge shot for Illinois. And it's a 4-point ball game nearing 2 minutes to go.
Illinois really ramping it up on the defensive end of the floor.
Dowancic gets to the rim. 21, a career high.
He had 20 against Illinois in the conference tournament a year ago.
Williams to D. Brown. Coming up on 1:30 to go. Smith double team. Interior pass to Augustine. Got a timeout call. Illinois scrambled on that set the whole way.
38 seconds.
Right now, both coaches emphasizing in their timeouts, I'm sure, the fact the shot clock is at 10.
Watch this right here. Nick Smith with that interior pass. Augustine unable to handle, but did recover to get a timeout called before tumbling out of bounds. You're right. 10 to go on the shot clock. 1:20 in the game.
And if you're Illinois, you cannot run the baseline. It's a stationary situation. And Davor Dowancic, Wayne,
off the dribble, no less.
And does not use the glass. He gets the kind roll. I didn't think he'd get a more kind roll than on that three that we saw bounce up in the air and go in, but that young man has answered the call in the absence of Vedran Vukusic. Someone had to step up. It was to Tim Young for about 3 or 4 possessions, but Davor Dowancic, 21 points.
Vedran Vukusic, second leading scorer for Northwestern, went out late first half with a knee injury. 10 seconds to go on the shot clock for Illinois. Darren Williams on the inbounds to Nick Smith. Williams clears, wide open three. Not going to get a better look. Augustine kept that alive. Williams reload, make the D. Brown reloaded. And a foul committed by Nick Smith to stop the clock with 67 seconds to go. And they can feel it. They can feel an upset here in Evanston. T.J. Parker will be at the free throw line. Parker 72% from the line. Of the regulars, really the second leading free throw shooter on the team. Makes good on his first, and he'll have another. Vedran Vukusic at 82%, the best free throw shooter for Northwestern. Parker makes a pair. Clutch free throws. And the lead is 8 for Northwestern. Now Illinois has to get quick offense. Williams penetrates. McBride.
Wow.
Owen.
I thought they might have called a foul on that.
I did too. But McBride has to commit a foul on the other end to stop the clock. And Northwestern 49.6 away from an upset of 25th ranked Illinois.
Right now, Wayne, this place is coming apart.
What a 4 days for the Wildcats. What a week when you consider how they were blown out in the Big Ten opener at Michigan. Went on the road and won for the first time in 2 years in Big Ten competition on the road at Iowa. And now we're on the verge of upsetting Illinois. Quick shot, and quick shot needed. The tip by D. Brown. Richard McBride missed on the opening salvo, and Brown able to tip it in. Now Darren Williams commits the foul.
And that's a good foul to give. Even if you're Illinois, you don't have much choice as to who to give the foul on. They're very fortunate in this situation. Has shot only about 59% from the line, Wayne.
39.5 remaining. The lead is 6 for Northwestern.
And that's the 5th, I believe, for Williams.
So Darren Williams heads off. Williams tonight 15 points, 8 of which came in the first half.
And you know, Wayne, when he went to the bench with that 4th foul, that's when Northwestern was able to extend the lead a little bit, because they really missed his field generalship out there, controlling the floor. He's done a good job of putting his teammates in a position to score. They missed that when he had to go to the bench with that 4th.
And as you'd see, Bruce Weber called his entire team over, and Bill Carmody says, what are they doing? Did they take a 20-second timeout or something? Or you're not quite sure.
Well, by rule, they've got a minute to get a replacement in there. So they're able to get a de facto timeout, and Nick Smith comes in right now, and I believe Powell's going to the bench.
So the minute expires. They had a quick huddle, did the Illini, and now Mohammed Hashad trying to put nails in the coffin of the 25th ranked team in the nation. Seven-point lead. He can make it 8 right here. That's a dagger.
Right now, if you're Northwestern, Wayne, you just want to turn them. You don't want to foul.
D. Brown. Luther had deep 3. Lots of air under that one. Jatim Young trying to chase it down. Last touch by Jatim Young. No call on the contact with McBride. Jatim Young took a cross body block basically on that play.
Yes, he did.
21.7 remaining. What a difference 7 nights makes in the Big Ten, huh, for Northwestern?
Could you have envisioned this a week ago?
No.
Up in Ann Arbor?
Brown straight on, long 3, rims out. Jatim Young the rebound. Foul to stop the clock with 17.2 remaining. And this crowd comes to its feet in Evanston.
And Wayne, that rebound gives the 6'2" Jatim Young his 3rd double-double of the season. 14 points, 10 rebounds. And when I say 6'2", that's generous.
You mean 6'2" in heels.
Yeah, exactly.
Jatim Young at the free throw line. Missing on the first. He'll have another. Jatim Young, 9th in the Big Ten in rebounding. 6.5 rebounds per game coming into tonight's game. And he makes good on the second. D. Brown quickly for Illinois. The Illini on the verge of losing their 2nd in a row. And the rebound battle, we got a foul coming up, and it's going to be on Nick Smith.
And how fitting is it, Wayne, that Davor Dowancic, after all he's meant to Northwestern here in the second half offensively, will have a chance to go to the foul line and extend a career evening here.
What a ball game. Dowancic has had 7 of 10 from the field, 4 of 6 at the arc, 3 of 4 at the free throw line, 21 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
Northwestern about to go 2-1 in Big Ten play. Illinois about to fall to 1-2. Unbelievable. 2-game stretch for Northwestern. The upset in Iowa City and another upset here at home. Nick Smith rebounds it. It's all academic from here. And that will do it. They storm the court. It's been a long time since Northwestern has beaten Illinois anywhere. And they've done it here tonight. The 25th ranked team in the nation, the Fighting Illini of Illinois, fall to the Northwestern Wildcats 70-60 here in Evanston.
Wayne, what a great performance by Northwestern in the second half. Their second leading scorer and top 3-point shooter goes down, but Davor Dowancic answers the bell. Great win at home for Northwestern here this evening.
The celebration continues in the Big Ten. What can you say is topsy-turvy? It appears that Wisconsin is on its way to lose on the road. Penn State came in 2-0 on their way to losing on the road. Who knows what will happen from night to night, day to day in the Big Ten. This Saturday, join us for an exciting Big Ten doubleheader. Mike Leach and Sean Morris tip things off in the studio at noon Eastern. Then it's Minnesota at Ohio State, followed by Northwestern at Indiana. Big Ten basketball Saturday starting at noon Eastern. For Sean Morris and our entire crew, I'm Wayne Larrabee. Once again, the final score. Northwestern knocks off 25th-ranked Illinois 70-60 here in Evanston. This has been an exclusive presentation of ESPN Plus, worldwide leader in collegiate sports television. Good night, everyone.
Slopestyle women's skiing next Saturday. We'll take you to Aspen, Colorado. There's a note here that Sports Center will report live from Aspen on Monday, January 26th and Tuesday, January 27th. Now that's duty. You get to go from Bristol to Aspen. Huh?
Wow.
That's not bad.
It's not a bad journey, huh?
No.
You know, I've never been to Aspen.
Bring money. Downey puts it down. Here's Strickland. Levy on the other side. He's been a good rebounder. Underneath. Put it down. And he'll shoot now for the three-point play the old-fashioned way.
He was really working on the inside, really tough. You mentioned going from Aspen, from Bristol. Look at Strickland on the inside. Now we're going to watch Levy. He's just working on the interior. Comes up with the loose ball, slides and glides and converts. Linda Cohn is getting that assignment, one of my favorite ladies. I had Robin Roberts' nephew the other day, Lawrence Roberts. She had told me a long time. She had said, long time ago, Dickie V, someday you will talk about my nephew. And oh, was Robin right. Now Robin, a big star with Good Morning America on ABC.
So Levy injured on the play.
They can substitute.
And
free throw
Paul will shoot the free throw.
So beautiful to have a young guy like Chris Paul who comes in, he fits in with everyone, doesn't come in with a big head. He's a great team player, very unselfish, phenomenal attitude, looks you in the eye when he speaks to you. I mean, class. Never ready. His family bought 60 season tickets, and they sit together down there at the Wake games. They got T-shirts. Great love in that family.
Williams with a nifty save. At the end line, was able to get it off the Wake player and out of bounds. So Dehorn will take the ball at 9:56, and Wake throws a little pressure at it.
Next 3 minutes are vital for Wake Forest. They got to come up with a spurt. Down 12, they got to find a way with their defense to create some offensive opportunities off their defense.
And remember, Reddick is on the bench with 4 fouls in this game. He has led the way offensively for the Blue Devils at 21.
Go to Williams inside, slide him to the post and get...
There they were, but they turn it over.
That was the look, though. That was the look. You can feel it up here.
Away from the ball, it goes against Danilus.
Again, Danilus backing in on Williams on the other end. Danilus right now, haven't seen him last year, he's not as fluid, and you could see that ankle sprain, and certainly all the time he's missed, has hurt. Oh, look at the football pass. He made like Peyton Manning, letting one fly. By the way, who wins that, baby?
Tough game, huh? Peyton against Coach Belichick, and that New England defense up there. Cold weather. I guess you have to like the home team a little bit because of the weather situation, but underdogs last week were like 4-0, and Peyton Manning has just been on a remarkable roll. Has anybody seen a quarterback any hotter in the playoffs? I guess we have to go back to what, Joe Montana and Steve Young. I mean, this has been unbelievable performance. How about you? Who do you like?
New England and Philadelphia. Donovan McNabb will go to the Super Bowl, and he will hook up with Peyton Manning. They're going to find a way. Tony Dungy, one of the classiest guys. You got to root for Dungy. He represents everything that's good about a person in the coaching profession.
Yeah, he's a wonderful man.
Great guy.
I'm into that.
He was a good basketball player back when he grew up as a kid in the state of Michigan.
65-51. I'll tell you, though, Dick, do not count out Carolina. They just kind of have that little look about them. They've been able to... But anyway, back to basketball. 65-51.
He played a little combination here. Soft man-to-man. Trying to disguise a little... They're playing man.
There's Gray on the pull-up.
Almost gave a look as a matchup, but it was a man-to-man, but just a little soft, not their normal pressure on the ball. Starting to get into a time in his game where Duke loves having the lead and then go to a 2-3 foul line extended set. Tough to defend. Double up, he's got to find the open man. There he is. Smart. Manage the clock. You're up 14. Got to have good basketball IQ.
Knocked away from Williams. And Wake comes up with it. Duke is back defensively. They did not give Downey a layup, but Duhon fouled it.
Good job of getting back on a defensive end in transition. That's a must today. For example, you got North Carolina playing Connecticut. You better be able to get back, and both those teams really do a great job of getting out in transition. So the team that gets back defensively and makes it 5-on-5 is going to have a great chance to win that game. I think North Carolina's going to be very difficult to beat at home. I really believe that. Their starting five is dynamite.
1-1. So the left-hander at the free throw line.
Excellent free throw shooter. His career better than 82%. Another kid with a positive attitude and just understands. Like, for example, he goes to the bench, not going to start, doesn't affect him. He knows he's going to get minutes, realizes that we're going to try to go for a little bit more size, starting Strickland.
Sean Morris, guys.
Thanks, Tom. A good point that Tom brings up, too. They head for the locker room feeling pretty good. Now, we got to keep in mind that Vedran Vukuzic is not playing in this game because of the hyperextended left knee.
And it's big for Northwestern. Mohamed Ashad has done a nice job of stepping up, attacking the rim via the dribble, but a mental breakdown, Mike, by Indiana at the end of the half right there. Took a quick shot, allows T.J. Parker to knock down a three, sending Northwestern into that locker room with momentum. They haven't missed Vukuzic as much as you might think. And Indiana, I think, really has to go back inside. They had that advantage earlier. They just got away from it.
You know, Iowa, they haven't won since 1999 in Champaign. They dropped to 14 of 15. They shot the ball well today, but here's the final. Illinois prevails as the Fighting Illini gets 20 from Roger Powell with 5 in double figures.
And that's very, very key. And you take a look, Roger Powell had been in foul trouble, is able to go inside, get 20 points. When a guy shoots 63%, he has to touch the ball, as does Augustine. And Illinois, much more pragmatic with the three than they have been in their losses in conference play.
De'Aaron Pierce is 26. Of course, he hails from the state of Illinois. The Buckeyes pick up their first win.
Once again, going inside early paid off for Ohio State. It was Radinovich, but Terrence Dials, big game for them. Humphreys, really the first time he showed some freshman frustration, just not able to get it going on the road.
He was 1 for 6, Sean, but he did finish with 19 points. But you're right, Terrence Dials actually got 9 shots today, 14 points for the Buckeyes. Northwestern and the Hoosiers of Indiana. There's the numbers after 20 minutes. Indiana 26-25. More guys than just Bracey.
Back in the lineup for Duke. The leading scorer here today for the Devils with 21. Comes back with 4 personal fouls, 7 minutes to go, and Duke up 13. They've won 35 consecutive games here. Mike Krzyzewski has won 603 games. Levy on the inside has it rejected by Williams.
He's becoming a shot blocking machine on the interior.
Yanks away the Eric Williams miss, and a little bit of pain as he goes down. They quickly rush to his aid.
He's got 8 blocked shots already today. 8 blocked shots. Played with D'Angelo Alexander in high school. There's one of the 8. Great timing. He's only a second-year player, getting better and better with the minutes. Mike Krzyzewski told me before the game, I'd like to get him a game where he can play 30, 35 minutes and not get in foul trouble. A lot of silly fouls. I mean, his numbers are basically based on about 20 minutes of action.
He's also pulled down 11 rebounds in this game, so he's been extremely active on the glass. One of the differences, one of the reasons why Duke enjoys this lead.
Got to make a little run here, need a spurt, need some threes. Downey certainly can knock him down.
Here's the main man, Gray. He can't get any daylight on Ewing.
They double up in the post.
Ding putting it down again. Finds Reddick. Reddick to the glass, and he's fouled. He comes to the free throw line for a pair, and if he makes them both, and he's the favorite, he'd be sitting on a 23.
You know, he sits at 23, and that would be the high for the year. J.J. had 22 against Texas is the high.
Well, Sydney Briscoe can't remember what happened for the last 2 years of her life, so tomorrow everything will finally be revealed on a new alias. Tomorrow at 9, 8 Central here on ABC.
What are the odds in making these two? What are the odds in making these two? He missed one today, folks. If you just joined us late, he made 54 in a row to set a new ACC record and then missed one, and now he's on another streak. He's the purest shooter, and I'll say that again, that I have seen since Chris Mullen. He's not the greatest player, but he's the purest shooter.
Some of you don't remember Chris Mullen. He led St. John's to a Final Four one year. He used to have a key to the gym. Played up at St. John's. He was a legendary player. I think someday he'll probably run in the Golden State Warriors the way it looks. He's an excellent front office guy in the NBA now. Left-hander, had a wonderful stroke.
He already announced he's not interested in his alma mater's coaching vacancy. They should give that job right now. I could give it to a great kid. He will have New York jumping with joy. Bobby Gonzalez from out of Manhattan is ready for that job, my friends. He has coached in the ACC. He understands the city. He understands the AAU competition, the high school ranks, and he would get players, and St. John's would have the Garden rocking again. Case closed.
Speaking of young coaches, Skip Prosser has a son, Mark, who's coaching over on the Bucknell staff. And a reminder that coming up next, of course, the GMC NBA hang time, and followed by Minnesota-Houston. We have NBA today, and then tomorrow the San Antonio Spurs are at the Boston Celtics.
I'll tell you one thing. You talk about that Houston team. You got to like Mr. Francis, certainly, and Kevin Garnett. You talk about a do-it-all, an automatic double-double guy.
Timeout is called.
In that trapping area, you got to find that open. You got to find that opening right up there in that 3-second area, or at the high post area. When you face that trap, you got to be aware of it. They were prepared today in terms of preparation on their blackboard with all the defenses they may see from Skip Prosser. Take a look right now. You're going to attack this trap. Now watch what happens when you get into a trapping area. Hold it, freeze it. See, here comes the double up. Look at this open area. Here's where you want to slide somebody into this area here. And watch, dude. They read it perfectly. And here comes Mr. You freeze it. Right there. Bango. Count it. Nothing but nylon. Right into the open area. It's like a clinic. I feel I want to get back coaching. Hey, everybody else is getting back out there. I mean, look at these guys at the ages. Jack McKean and UB Brown. Give me a job, Brown. I want some of that cash.
Exactly. When you pay millions, you can get anybody to come back and coach.
I go there and coach and hire you as my assistant. Look at that Duke defense. Just give me the next job. You get to Lenny Wilkins. Give me a shot. You can't win and come back when you allow that to happen. You allow that to happen, a wide open lane. I could have went through there and made that layup.
Ray is fouled by Ewing.
As you said earlier, you said it so well, Mike Krzyzewski treating these last 48 hours basically like an NCAA tournament with a Thursday and a Saturday. He's always thinking in a way of motivating, always coming up. I mean, it's really special. You know, you talk about teachers, and he learned from as good a teacher as you're going to find in Bobby Knight. If you go to a practice session down here at Texas Tech, you talk about a clinic that he puts on in teaching the game. It's incredible.
Ray knocks down the free throw.
I know people in Indiana don't like to hear this, but I see out there Coach Kay Court, Bobby Cremins down there at Georgia Tech, Lute Olson. I've said it, Brent. Forget about all the nonsense. If everybody else is getting courts named after him, Bobby Knight, for what he did at Indiana, Shea should name the building the Assembly Hall / Robert Montgomery Knight Center. Get some class down here, some of those administrators, and stop being so immature. Oh, yeah.
It's a beautiful two-man play coming down into the paint.
As Williams wide open. I think you're putting this one in a Duke book for a W, Mr. Musburger. You're getting ready to talk about the Celtics tomorrow. I saw Red Auerbach the other day after the game with Maryland. Looks so great. Talking to him about basketball. Was there with John Feinstein. John's going to be doing a book about having lunch with Red on a regular basis.
Hope he got Red to pick up the check.
Hey, there's Danny Ainge. Come on, Danny, smile. As a double up. Spot the open man. Look at Duhan. Head up. Sheldon Williams with the finish. What's making Duke so much better now is they're starting to get inside play from Williams and Randolph to go with that great perimeter game. I think the best backcourt in America, and I wish you get a chance to see them. was Jameer Nelson and Delonte West of St. Joe's. But I think, obviously, the deepest and best backcourt in America is Duke. They got 5 guys that can rotate in that perimeter.
The lead is 14. 5 minutes to go. There is no margin of error now for Wake Forest.
Like 0. They better make every possession count. Here's Duke taking some time off the clock. They're going to go to that 2-3 set. Spread the court. There they are spreading the court. There's the double up. Reverse the ball.
Here they come. Downey.
Nice play by Downey, stepping into the passing lane. Poor job by Duke in that they didn't step to the basketball. For all you young kids out there, understand, you got to step to the ball. You can't wait for the ball to come to you.
Leads a dozen.
You don't want to get too cautious. If they got the open opportunity, you got to take it.
Duhon, the senior.
He's been sensational this year. Absolutely sensational. Chris Duhon has played as well as most point guards in America. He has been absolutely dynamite in his senior year. He's spinning, whirling, going down the lane, taking the ball strong to the basket. Think of on the current home winning streaks. Pittsburgh leads the nation with 37, Duke at 35, Creighton at 25, Wake Forest has 24 in a row, and Texas, who just beat Wake, has 24 in a row. And the biggest crowd up there in Texas in the history of their basketball against Wake.
Duke is up 14. Way on the drive. Traveling call.
Larry Rose with the call.
That's a big traveling call, and Skip is up and not happy. .358 left. Duke closing in on 36 in a row at home. You're watching ABC Sports Championship Television with Dick Vitale. I'm Brent Musburger. Coming up, the GMC NBA hang time, followed by Minnesota, the Timberwolves against Houston and Yao Ming. And here, Duke leading Wake Forest 76 to 62.
Got numbers, that means layup city. Layup city. They execute so well. Put the ball in the hands of Duhon, and he will find the open man and have the Cameron Crazies jump with joy.
Now, J.J. Redick, he had his best shooting performance of the season. 23 is his high. Sheldon Williams, though, has done the little things. There he is defensively. Foul is called. But Sheldon Williams in this game has 15 points. But listen to these two numbers. 12 rebounds and 8 blocked shots for Sheldon Williams. So he did the dirty work for Coach K underneath. And then, of course, out on top, J.J. Redick. And Ewing, Dick, as you pointed out, he had a big 3 when Wake was making its last run.
Well, you know, Sheldon Williams is going for a triple-double here in a very unique way, certainly when you think about blocked shots. But he's one of the improved players in America. Jason Maxiell has really improved down here in Cincinnati. As you said earlier, some kids need a year or two to just get adjusted to making that transition to the collegiate level before they can really start to find their game. And with each game you watch Sheldon Williams, you see him getting better and better and better. He's going to lay up here. No, they back it out. They want to take time off the clock. Smart play. Smart play by Ewing. Good basketball IQ. Manage the clock.
Number 33, Trent Strickland, his 4th personal foul.
So there's a lot of national media, not just here, but in the area. The North Carolina, Connecticut game, and you can see the overhead photos being taken of this game, and the photographers, of course, courtside. So this one's so well covered.
Taking your picture. They were taking your picture before the game. Man, you and I took a lot of pictures today. You just get that horse ready for me when I come to Montana, my friend. I'm going to ride that sucker like I'm telling you. Mike Krzyzewski, not a happy camper today before the game. I said, look, I don't make the schedule. He's not a happy camper. This is their only Saturday afternoon game this year. He said basketball belongs at Saturday afternoon in the ACC, and we got loads of 9 o'clock games. He's starting to sound like the general, but you know what? He's right. Saturday afternoon is a great time for college basketball. Look at that coaching staff. So much pride in wearing the uniform here, and extends to the players with Wojo and Chris Collins and Johnny Dawkins. They know what tradition is, having played here.
Williams going for another rebound and couldn't get the handle out of bounds. Well, the one number that the coaches, Coach K and his staff, are going to enjoy looking at is that Wake Forest shot a season low 35% from the field here this afternoon. And they've held Wake down into the 60s. They put 80 up. Still 3 minutes to go. Wake perhaps can climb up into the 70s here, but it has been tough going, just getting daylight for Wake Forest. And Paul is learning how tough it is for a freshman to come in here at the point and get it done as Williams yanks it away again, and he is fouled by the freshman.
Well, the stabilizer for Duke all year has been their defensive game. They suffocate you on a defensive end. It's going to be interesting how that defense exists against the deep and talented young Maryland team up there at the Comcast Center with the Red Army cheering.
So Chris Paul fouls out of the game in his first trip to Cameron. He scored 7 points here today, but there'll be other games for the freshman. Part of the learning process is coming in here, but Coach K knew that it was going to be very, very difficult for a freshman to run the point against his defense in this building. They were much more concerned in practice yesterday with Eric Williams down low than they were with Paul's speed. Mike told us that he felt he certainly had enough speed to get back on defense against Paul. He did at no time. At no time did Paul take charge offensively in this game, so he still has a lot to learn in the ACC.
Well, you know, you got to credit that to the 4-year experience of Duan defensively at that point. Duan also met the challenge of playing Hodge the other night and really did a great job against him. Nothing like that incredible experience. You know, you talk about 9 Final Fours, unbelievable. The most are Wooden with 12. The Wizard of Westwood and Dean Michelangelo had 11. Incredible, though, that he's taken his program, especially after his early start, winning only 38 games in 3 years. I'll tell you one thing, Brent. This is a question I'll ask you. You've been around all sports. With the climate that exists now, with the win now mentality, I wonder in today's climate with 38 wins in 3 years here, would he have survived that years, you know, now versus years ago?
I think it depends on what they're replacing when they come in.
Well, he replaced, they were in the Final Four in 78.
Then it would be very difficult. But if you're coming into a program that has not experienced success, then they'll live with you for a while. But a school like Nebraska, which you mentioned earlier in the game, they had so much success that they were spoiled, and there was no way they were going to sit there when they were not recruiting the kind of players that were winding up at Oklahoma and Texas, and that's what happened out at Lincoln.
Well, you know, my point is this. If you're going to make that change and the ball goes out of bounds at Lincoln, Nebraska like they did, you got to hit a grand slam. And I have nothing against Mr. Callahan. I don't know him at all, but to me, they seemed like they were just searching for a coach, getting rejected by everyone, and it was unbelievable. But, you know, when he came here, Mike Krzyzewski, he stepped in. They didn't win. They didn't go right from the Final Four to Mike Krzyzewski. There was a year or two between that. But it was basketball was in pretty good shape.
Well, you take a look at his recent record. 6 straight Sweet 16s. 3 years ago, the championship. Duhan, of course, was a starter as a freshman on a national championship team here. His overall, Mike Krzyzewski's overall tournament record is 60-16, folks. 78%, as Sheldon Williams' line here today is just absolutely remarkable.
He filled up the stat sheet, man.
That's almost a triple-double, Mark.
Yes, sir. Great job this afternoon for Sheldon Williams. You know, you mentioned 6 consecutive Sweet 16s. Most schools would proudly put that out there and sell that to you. He said that we're not about Sweet 16s, man. We're about cutting nets down.
You know, the last time a triple-double was turned in by a Duke player, I looked at it the other day, and you've got to go back to 1978, and Gene Banks.
Wow,
he was a former legend here. He did it against Lehigh, 13, 12, and 11. So that is how close Sheldon Williams came today to be becoming the first Duke player to turn in a triple-double. You got to go back to 1970. An opponent, you go to the year previous to 78, to 1977. Tree Rollins with Clemson went 16, 15, and the Tree had 10 block shots.
You know, it doesn't shock you at all, though, because Duke is so balanced as a team that you're going to have everybody sharing the wealth, that you're not going to have one individual piling up those kind of numbers, like in 91 and 92 when they had the big three with Bob Hurley, certainly one of the great point guards ever to play the game, and then hooking up with Grant Hill and Christian Laettner.
Again, we go back on the drive.
Nice drive.
Coming right on through by Tehran that time. Go back, this will make it an 11-game winning streak for the Blue Devils since their loss in the final of the Great Alaska Shootout. They were beaten by Purdue 78-68, and Mike told us yesterday we didn't shoot a lick in that game. He said we just never had a chance. And the Boilermakers, on the other hand, played very, very well. This would give them an 11-game winning streak since the margin's unbelievable. As Randolph puts it down, Shavlik Randolph, a schoolboy legend from nearby Raleigh, a 6'10 sophomore, putting it away. And now 119, and the numbers will start to mount again. This will be the 36th consecutive victory here in Cameron Indoor Stadium. This team undoubtedly will rise to #1 if North Carolina can win at home. Otherwise, of course, Connecticut would stick #1 going to Monday nights. Big Monday on ESPN against Pittsburgh. So it's 84-67, 119, and the Blue Devils doing it again. And there'll be other days. There'll be other days.
Hey, I'll tell you what, you went to Northwestern, you're very culture-minded. Wasn't that Mr. Kipling? If is Mr. Kipling. See, you think I'm one-dimensional. You think I'm just into the
very good.
stats. You like that. You shocked you with that one.
Yes, I am.
I bet some of the Dukies don't know that.
Todd Hindley on the floor for Wake Forest, and jump ball last time I checked that possession here. I think it was going to Wake Forest.
Wake won 16 in a row last year at home, and they're a basketball team that's going to be so difficult to beat at home. Certainly you lose to Texas and you lose to Duke on the road. As you look at the numbers of Duhan, 14 assists today.
That's a career high. 14 assists, a career high. The three ball is knocked down by Jeremy Ingram. He's a freshman out of Kinston, North Carolina, so he knocks down a three. Let's take a look, and you can take us through what Duke has ahead of them right now.
Well, you know, you take a look, they got Maryland, certainly going to deal with the strength of John Gilchrist and deal with that crowd. That crowd is so electric there. Inside, Smith has become a quick force on the interior with a lot of experience. Kaner Medley can knock down the three. Last year they beat Duke at Comcast. Then they got a date at Georgetown, who certainly now is finding out after blowing out a bunch of cupcakes that that's not the way you build to get ready to play the competition. Then Leonard Hamilton's done a great job with Florida State. Paul Hewitt, a rising star with Georgia Tech. And then, my friends, it's at North Carolina. And I can't wait when the Dukies and the Heels hook up. It's going to be like old times. I think it's the greatest rivalry in all of college sports. Yes, I think, you may not agree, I think that it's better than the rivalry, even Michigan, Ohio State football, because they're only 8 miles apart.
I guess I could disagree with that, couldn't I, folks?
Yeah, you are right. They're coming out with a book, by the way. Art Chansky's writing a book about the rivalry Duke and North Carolina. And baseball lovers will say Yankees, Red Sox.
Crossing the Dockery's hands now for the final minute. Duke is up 13, 84-71. They'll bring time off the clock before they pull the trigger. Wake Forest is pulled back. They've conceded. They're not fouling here. They're going to let the time run down.
I'll tell you one thing about Wake. They get Danilus healthy and get him rolling. Like I said, they're going to be battling all year up in that first division in the ACC, which is from top to bottom the best. I think the Big Four are the ACC. ACC certainly got to put it in the Big 12, the SEC, and the Big East.
Blocking foul called against Randolph.
Hey, your alma mater had 2 great wins. They beat Illinois and Iowa. Bill Carmody and a Northwestern basketball team, the Wildcats, 2 big wins for them.
Alan Williams, a senior guard from Dallas. Doesn't get much playing time. Checking in for the Demon Deacons. 2 shots coming up here for Downey. This is the first. Remember, that we're sitting on a 13-point margin right now, 84-71.
I'm trying to console him. He knows that he hasn't had the kind of performance he's capable of. What a winner this kid is. I'll tell you, he can play for me any day of the week. I met him over in New York, Brent, and I was so impressed. He's just a beautiful young guy that you would absolutely love to wear your uniform. Son, you're going to be a great player. With that comes some adversity, and he'll battle back.
He's certainly not the first youngster to come in here and experience an off game. You can ask Hodge at North Carolina State, a veteran. This Duke defense is really something. Stockton gets it across now. And the final seconds will tick off. The Devils are up a dozen, 84-72, and they will win their 36th consecutive game in Cameron Indoor Stadium. 604 victories for Mike Krzyzewski.
You know, Chris Duhon had 14 assists, but to me, his strength today was his defense at the point guard slot. Cameron Crazies go bananas. 48 hours, a success.
One unbeaten left in the ACC, and the Duke Blue Devils are the one. 14-1 overall. They are now 4-0. Once again, our final score. Duke wins it by 1 on you.
This red-clad crowd up in unison. And a holding foul on Strickland.
Here's A.J. Moye coming right down the middle. Beautiful move right there around Young, and then you know he's going to the bucket. And that was not an easy shot. Not an easy shot at all. Comes down, has to go sideways because he's got people flying at him, but finds a way to put it up softly off the backboard.
Great job by our camera crew. You don't teach that move. Duancic hasn't scored. Number 31 for the Wildcats had 22 in the win against Illinois.
You know, Indiana has not given up a backdoor cut in this ballgame.
That's a good point, Bob. They haven't given up many second chance opportunities. But this time a Hoosier foul, says Phil Bova emphatically. He calls it on A.J. Moye. Being the third on Moye.
Right now, Northwestern is a little bigger in their lineup than is Indiana, and they're able to go to the offensive board.
(39-31) Hoosiers. 13:22 left. A shot. Duancic still hasn't scored. Indiana basketball. Went over the top of the backboard. So Duancic, who had 22 on Wednesday, a goose egg so far today. And shooting the rock, brought to you by Rolling Rock Beer. Grab a rock. Northwestern really struggling shooting today. And a foul on the drive.
There was an excellent point right there that I've been talking about. It's getting somebody in the middle. That time, Wright came from behind the defense, found an opening right at the elbow. They got him the basketball, and he's able to go to the bucket.
Haven't seen that much, have we?
You've got to do that against this 1-3-1 zone, because what they've done is they put Young right in the middle, forcing Indiana to throw the lob pass over the top. It's a slow pass, so the defense has time to react. If you can get into some quick movements, quick passes in and out, then you've got some offensive thrust.
The only Hoosier in double figures for the season when you talk about per game average. Gracie Wright at 20 a game as Evan Seacat is in. Today, though, Wright's had some help from Wilmot, Strickland, and Gracie Wright averaging 20 a game, second in the Big Ten behind only Chris Humphreys of Minnesota. But Mike Davis again saying yesterday, other people have to step up. Because he said everybody in the country knows when they play Indiana, you've got to try to put the shackles on Gracie Wright.
Well, they've had good help from Leach. He's had some good minutes. Still not totally in shape yet, but he's had some good minutes. And Sean Klein came in, had a nice turnaround jump shot. So they've gotten some things out of people when they needed it.
A shot. Hasn't scored this half after he had the big first half. A shot. Got it. And a foul on Indiana. Oh, Hashad once again seems to rescue Northwestern when it looks like they're on the brink of getting blown out of here.
He really does a nice job of just hanging around. Took the shot a little quick. Did not get the ball in the right position. But look at him hang around here. Here's the ball. All right, try to stop me. So he takes it to the basket, goes to the free throw line. Chance for a three-point play that keeps Northwestern close by.
Way short, though, on the free throw. Indiana with the ball up 8. 12:35 left in it.
Northwestern back to the man-to-man, and they have not been as good when they've been in this man-to-man. Indiana's found a way to get to the basket.
Strickland against Parker. Fading. Air ball. Rebound yanked out of there, though, by Ewing. You talk about an athlete. Patrick Ewing Jr. 5 on the shot clock. Hit it! And keeping it alive was Perry to tip it in.
Nice work by Perry. Found a way to the basket, put it up, and then decided to play volleyball with it as he hung inside. They didn't put a body on him.
10-point Hoosier lead. We're 8 minutes into the second half. Parker. Hashad. Look at everybody beyond the arc. Just kind of spotting up.
Look at the energy in Indiana's defense right now. They're really moving with the basketball, doing a nice job keeping Northwestern out of what they want to do.
And Young threw it away, and the Hoosier defense forces the third turnover this half on Northwestern. Wright gave it up.
Good thought by Wright, though. He knows that Hashad's got 3 fouls. If he gets him up in the air, I guarantee you there was going to be a foul there.
Yep. Indiana with a lead, up 10. Shot clock down to 10. Wright. He threw it away. That'll be over and back when Strickland touches it. So Northwestern forces the turnover. But Mike Davis's Hoosiers have taken control, leading by 10.
Outside now to Rashad Wright. Wright had 20 points. And you know what? The Georgia Bulldogs, remember the win over Georgia Tech? Now they slam dunk the Kentucky Wildcats. That's a 21-game conference winning streak has snapped. And Tom, it looks like the coaches poll might be shaken up a little.
Wow, I guess so, Mike. And to do that in Lexington, what a win that is for Georgia.
I tell you, you're not safe anywhere in college basketball today. You think that you're home, you can protect your home court, the crowd's going to help you, and bang, somebody comes in and stomps on your toe.
So I don't think Kentucky will be 5th as you had a look there at the top 10 in the country. Young penetrating, in trouble. Hashad. Well, Indiana much more aware of Mohammed Hashad here in the second half.
Well, they've got to step out on him. He's had a great ball game for Northwestern. He's been the ball game for Northwestern. And if they can limit him, they've got a chance to run away and hide.
Shot clock down to 12. Parker fading. Parker missing. Run down by Ewing. Indiana with the ball up 10. 10.5 to play. It's still Indiana's basketball.
Boy, what a tough shot Parker took. Running through the lane like that, jumping up with a floater, he must have moved 6-8 feet in the air and then try to shoot back to the basket. That's almost impossible.
Well, Bob, you talked about it before. The difference here now, Indiana's defense, they look like they've been re-energized.
Well, they're attacking the basketball. They're not allowing Northwestern to run their offense. They're running people at the backside of the ball, and they've caused Northwestern some problems. Didn't have a turnover in the first half. Now they've got 5 or 6 here in the second.
Ewing almost turned it over. Very difficult pass in traffic. Recovered by Ewing.
Indiana the aggressor without question now, Tom. They're hungry for the basketball. They can feel the wind coming. They know they've got to win this ball game here at home. And Northwestern struggling just a bit. Can't find a score at the moment.
Hoosiers with a 12-point lead, their biggest. Seacat finds Duwancic, who has his first points of the day, and they were much needed. So it's a 9-point Indiana lead. Still a long way to go, 9.5 to play. Although Northwestern is not going to score a lot of points in bunches, so they can't afford to a big hill to climb late in the game. There's a steal by Young. Ahead to Hashad. Reverse layup cuts the deficit to 7. Hashad has a career-high 18, matched with that bucket.
Well, he's quick, too. Very quick down the court. You can see now Northwestern a little energized.
Great look. And that'll recharge the Hoosiers. Perry to Ewing.
That'll take all the air out of the balloon right there. You think you've got a chance now to get back in the ball game, and Ewing absolutely just flushes one.
Offensive foul to Wancic. His third. And Patrick Ewing Jr. has brought a little life to this Hoosier team and fans.
Boy, right there, he got up big on the slam and then came back at the other end and made a good defensive move. Indiana has a chance now to put some space between them and Northwestern and maybe begin to take some of the air out of those Wildcat sails.
8.5 minutes to play. Hoosiers with the ball up 9. Good look for Strickland.
There's the inside-outside. They got the ball into the center of the zone. As the zone collapses, they get a nice look outside to Strickland, who catches the ball again in rhythm and nails the 3.
It's been an impressive second half for the Hoosiers. Up 12 with 8:21 to play.
Get inside this zone. You see, there's the double team out front. Now, if you can find a way to get it inside to the middle, right back outside, now you're catching the ball in rhythm. And bang, you hit the three-pointer. It's much more difficult to catch that ball coming from the outside and look back to the basket, force the defense to turn their head, then you've got some rhythm.
Indiana scored 26 points in the first half, already 24 in the second half with 8:14 to play. Duwancic with a miss. Young got fouled, or did he? No, jump ball. Possession arrow favors the Hoosiers. Jatim Young not convinced, and Bill Carmody not happy.
Young left that ball up high, and when you're down inside, you almost have to try to squeeze the air out of it, because you put it above your head, the big guy's going to reach up and grab it. There was a lot of contact there. There could have been a foul.
Indiana's done a heck of a job on Jatim Young today.
You know what they've done when he goes baseline? They put 3 guys on top of him. There's nowhere for. He likes to do a little reverse layup. He can't do it because there's a guy standing in his way.
He's been held, Jatim Young, to 5 points. 10 on the shot clock and a turnover. Hashad has numbers. Young will score. And it's a 10-point game with 7:35 remaining. 7 for Jatim Young, who averages 18 a game. Just when it looks like Northwestern's out of chances, they come roaring back at an offensive foul on Patrick Ewing Jr. And now Mike Davis is dismayed by the call. So the Wildcats not going away quietly. It's been a struggle all day. Indiana's really picked it up.
They've really done a nice job. They're getting people shots in the flow of their offense, and they're getting back to the backboard. But the biggest thing is they're beginning to hit some shots. They only shoot 38% on the year. 45, really a good percentage for them.
And now pushing foul on Ewing. Northwestern goes to the 1-and-1. Check that. George Leach with a foul, but it still puts Northwestern in the bonus. You saw those shooting percentages. Northwestern, when they won in Iowa City and then beat Illinois Wednesday night, both games shot over 50%. They're nowhere near that today.
Well, they're shooting about 46% on the season, and I mentioned Indiana shooting about 38. It's interesting you saw that stat, and they're just backwards.
Yeah.
You know, Indiana's the team that's shooting, and that's here in the second half. They've been shooting the ball real well, and I think it's because they're catching the ball in the flow. They've got some rhythm to the game, which they didn't have in the first half.
Offensive rebound, Jatim Young. Northwestern crashes the boards, doesn't convert. Look at Perry breakout. Perry the other way, drew the foul on Hashad. That'll be 4 on Hashad. So now, Gatorade, one of our corporate partners. Gatorade Thirst Quencher. Gatorade, it's in college basketball. Is it in you? Bringing you today's Big Ten battle from Bloomington. 7:04 to play. And Perry at the line banks the first. He's a 70% free throw shooter. And Bill Carmody is going to keep Mohammed Hashad on the floor with 4 fouls, probably, Bob, because they're down 10. And another lane violation. The second one today. This one, another double lane violation. Jump ball, possession arrow, favors Northwestern. Mike Davis wants a timeout. And then my next solution is make you an assistant coach.
Now come on over and sit down. You know, have a glass of water and a towel, and we'll talk to you later.
There's Mike Davis. Well, you talk about one of the nicest people you'll meet in this game of college basketball. It's Mike Davis.
Had a chance to sit with him for about 45 minutes before the game. Back in the back, watching film, and a lot of insight on the game of basketball.
And he has the top recruiting class in the country coming to Indiana next year. But right now, he's concerned about another over and back violation, and Indiana has not been able to deliver the knockout punch.
Yeah, one of the things that that Mike talked about is that you get a lead in the ball game, and the clock is running, but you just feel like your team does not have control of the ball game, and that's what you're seeing here. The Hoosiers were in the position to do the knockout punch on Northwestern, but they've let them get back in the game.
Well, Bob, this one may go right down to the wire. Earlier today in Columbus, Ohio State beat Minnesota as they pulled away late. And in this doubleheader with Bob Ford on time, Hamilton, 6:27 to play. Indiana's lead is 8. And now Duwancic picks up his 4th personal. Hashad is on the floor with 4. And Northwestern just doesn't have answers on the bench because they're down to 7 scholarship players.
And the thing that you see in looking at the stat sheet is the fact that everybody's playing 35 minutes.
Yeah.
So you begin to wonder, you get down to that last 4-minute segment, will they have anything left?
Gracie Wright, he hasn't had a huge afternoon. The boys hit some big-time shots. 13 for Wright. Indiana back up 10, traveling on Northwestern. 5 turnovers on the Wildcats all this half. That's T.J. Parker, and he was muttering in French there. We're under 6 minutes to play. Indiana trying to put away the Wildcats. Wilmot, what a fake, missed the shot. Rebound, corralled by Strickland. Pass to Moyer, fouled, he'll shoot 2.
Indiana
shooting Penn early in the year, and then Penn State on Wednesday.
Michigan controls the tip. Both these teams 1-1 in Big Ten play. Horton spots, looks for the 3, puts it on the floor. Good defense. Michigan State got their hands up, the ball loose, and here come the Spartans 2-on-2. Hill on the wing. Inside to Davis. Now Anderson fakes. Torbert got it. Kelvin Torbert out of Flint, Michigan. He's a defensive-minded player, but can still dial up to 3.
He's averaging double digits, and he's really shot the ball well in his last 4 ball games. 18 of 32 from the floor.
Sims tries to find a cutter. Abram. So Abram on the board, the sophomore from Pontiac, Michigan. He's had a nice start to this season. Double figures, 9 of his first 13.
Craig, I don't think they allowed the basket. There was a turnover.
Took it away. Clark watched to see if Michigan State will try to do some backdoor plays in case Michigan tries to overrun them here early. Right now, though, they're knocking down threes from the corner. Allen Anderson. Anderson, a junior from Minneapolis. Spartans up on their home floor by 6. Abram out to Brown. Thornton answers back. Back-to-back threes. Little three-point show going on here early.
Well, back in their game against Wisconsin, the open Big Ten play, Michigan State got off to a quick start there in Madison. They led 17-5, made their first 8 shots, including a few threes. And for Allen Anderson, a nice way for him to start. He has not scored double digits in his last 5 ball games.
Corbett drives. Now Davis at the free throw line. Plenty of time on the shot clock. Goes baseline. Skips a pass to the corner. There's the young freshman. Oh, he is just cool as can be. Shannon Brown. Out of Maywood, Illinois. Mr. Basketball of Illinois a year ago. Horton is held on the drive.
Well, Michigan State has made their first 3 shots, 2 threes. Here's Shannon Brown right there. The pass is going to come right in here. A great way to attack the Michigan defense there. In a bit of a zone. Penetration was stopped on the baseline, but Paul Davis with a nice find on the weak side.
Abram, the lefty, the 3, got it.
Boy, so far, Craig, a nice rebuttal by the road team. Michigan State makes their first 3, and then Michigan answers with a pair of 3s themselves.
Clark, 5 buckets have been knocked down in this game, 4 of them from Freeland. How about another? Torbert.
Well, you said at the top it was cold outside. They've caught the flame inside.
No bucket. Graham Brown with the offensive foul. He will check out. And in the ball game for the Wolverines is number 32, J.C. Mathis. And you talk about 3s. Michigan, Clark, 2 for 2. Michigan State, 3 for 3.
Well, J.C. Mathis looks like he's going to match up with Kelvin Torbert, who has knocked down a pair of open 3-point shots.
Torbert, nice drive inside, gives it away to Davis. The fall away, Sims rejected that shot.
That's the Big Ten's leading shot blocker. Freshman Courtney Sims averaging 2 blocks a game, Craig, in only 18 minutes per game of playing time. If he played 34 minutes a game, that would project to about 4 block shots a game.
He had 29 coming in. You just saw his 30th swat of the season. Sims now turns and hits. How about Torbert, man? Looked like he went off a trampoline for the rebound. Across midcourt. Anderson holds it high. Lob pass. Davis so long. Puts it down on the floor. Sims, good defense.
I think Paul Davis is going to have to try to turn and face Courtney Sims and attack him that way instead of trying to back him down, because Sims is just too long and has excellent timing in blocking shots.
Sims throws a tough pass across court. Horton got the 3 and a whistle.
There's a foul underneath on somebody, and it seems as though we're staying at this end of the floor. They're going to call it on Paul Davis.
Michigan State foul. Number 40, Paul Davis is first.
How about Daniel Horton? We talked about Michigan